Being able to envision something and being able to work with your husband to create that is really exciting and empowering.
People will be delighted by just how much of the selection that there is at Menards. It's definitely a one-stop shop.
Menards has everything you need, whether you're a weekend warrior or a daily professional. I have to use products that will last.
For a lot of my pieces, I need a variety of hardwoods: red oak, hickory, maple, mahogany. I can walk out of the door with exactly what I need.
Menards is my custom shop. Whatever I draw, they can produce. They've made it easy for me to get what I need for my customers.
I like the Menards lumberyard because it's stored inside, it's stored flat. Just the way they take care of their wood is second to none.
The kind of quality that you put into your work indicates the respect you have for the customer. But what is more satisfying is when I realized we didn't just do a countertop installation, but we added to their quality of life.
It's great to be able to work every day with your business partner, your co-parent, your best friend, and then see where that takes us on this journey in life.
Everything you do matters, and if I've got a positive effect on all these things, then I believe that's a life well lived.
I love what I do, I care about what I do, and so that's magical. There's always a sense of gratification, and that never gets old.
Standing back and seeing what we've created is really the payoff of the whole process.
There's always a place in this world for things that are well built, that can be used for generations to come. It's a great feeling to know that I'm creating pieces that are incorporated in people's homes, in the spaces that they live in.
Being a maker is all about controlling your own destiny. It really, truly just feels limitless.
A look at Hancock Stadium, where they're getting ready for state championship in the 6A classification. Geneva, East St. Louis coming up soon.
We're going to need more fuel. A renewable way to get that fuel instead of relying on foreign countries for petroleum. We can just grow our own fuel. Our fields are literally full of energy.
Coughing and throat feeling sore? We've got medication to get you out the door. Earache, pink eye, bug bite, or rash? Our wonderful staff will treat you in a flash.
What about sprains, strains, and minor fractures too?
Don't worry, our x-rays reveal what's hidden from view. Need care after 9, 10, or 11? Our virtual care's got you 24/7. OSF on-call urgent care, in person or virtual, we're always there.
Home is more than a place. It's full of the people and moments that matter most. Providing for loved ones, expanding your horizons, or simply living the life you love. With all you have to protect, choose insurance you can count on so you can experience more of what you live for. Country Financial. Experience more.
Every year, the Whiffles family celebrates the season the best way they know how. And every year, they add a little something new. After all this time, you'd think all that extra work put into every last detail would get old. Well, think again. Whiffles Hybrids. Season's greetings from our U.S. farm family to yours.
We're going to need more fuel. A renewable way to get that fuel instead of relying on foreign countries for petroleum. We can just grow our own fuel. Our fields are literally full of energy.
There's a look at Hancock Stadium on the campus of Illinois State University. They're getting ready for the 6A state title game. Geneva, East St. Louis. The Vikings and the Flyers are up next.
Tomorrow, I'll be making a difference in the classroom. Tonight, I'll be making memories with the dance team.
I'm expressing myself with my poetry and with my hands.
I'm providing for my patients and for my community.
At NIU, you'll go places as unique as you, with the resources and support to get you there. Join us and start writing your story today.
Is college not what you thought it was going to be? Here's an opportunity to work with your hands as well as your mind. Learn how to insulate mechanical systems in the industrial and commercial industries. With the Heat and Frost Insulators Local 17, you get to earn while you learn through our apprenticeship program. After 5 years, you'll finish with no debt, money in the bank, and you'll be on your way towards a pension. Scan the QR code and apply today, or visit our website to learn more.
We had such a great experience with Empire, we would recommend it to anyone.
Real customers share their stories about Empire today.
As a matter of fact, we already have. Customer service and the personal touch is really where it's at. The quality, too, is important to us, and the quality of the flooring was great. I mean, we've had people come in our home and say, wow, this is really beautiful. Where'd you have it done? Empire.
800-588-2300 Empire.
Today.
We are moments away from the 6A state title game here on the IHSA television network, getting you ready for East St. Louis taking on Geneva, a story of two schools, one steeped in tradition, one not. Welcome inside our studios alongside Edgy Tim O'Halloran. I'm Marshall Harris, and this is an interesting matchup here because you've got an East St. Louis team, which has been now to a 5th straight state title game, winning 2 of the last 4.
Yeah, I mean, this didn't go according to script. According to script, Cary Grove was supposed to be here, but they're not here. A great Geneva team was able to beat them in the semi, so here you go, a matchup of 2 very similar style teams. Both want to throw the ball, up-tempo offense, great athleticism, both sides of the ball. Marshall, I'm telling you, it's going to be fun, a lot of fun.
All right, so this is game 2 of a 4-game slate. We just saw what happened in the first game in 5A with Nazareth Academy holding on for a 2-point win. A reminder that last year it was a 3-point loss to Cary Grove for this East St. Louis team, and now we're looking at a team in Geneva looking for its first ever state title.
And what's interesting is you are preparing completely different between Cary Grove and Geneva. I don't want to say it was a positive. I think for the East St. Louis coaches, it was more of a more natural team to get ready for as opposed to a triple option from Cary Grove. So we'll see. We'll see if that's a positive or maybe not so much. Should be a really good matchup.
All right, so the Vikings and the Flyers, that's what's up next on the menu here as we kind of get some, not leftovers, this is brand new stuff that we're sending your way on a Saturday, 2 days after Thanksgiving. Let's find out more about these two teams and the players that we need to be watching. Let's send it back to Hancock Stadium for Sam and Jack. Guys?
Thanks, Marshall. Thanks, Edgy. What a game in that 5A matchup. Now we're hoping for more of a treat in 6A. Geneva and East St. Louis. And Jack, let's look at some of our players to watch, starting with East St. Louis. Well, their coach says, as Ryan Martin goes, our run game goes.
Well, they've always been notorious for having great tailbacks, and this is no exception. He's been starting for a couple of years, and he's really a captain from the standpoint of he's always getting the kids up. He's a real leader, but he's really a tough running back. And they've had a tough schedule, and he's really the one that's kept them undefeated for the most part, except for that one loss to IGM. And aside from that, he's one heck of a player.
From a tailback to one of the best wideouts in the state of Illinois, Talon Taylor will play SEC football next fall.
Well, you know, he's not going to be in Illinois very much longer. He's going to be in Georgia. He's got great stats, over 75 yards, just went over 1,000 yards last last week in the semifinals. Tremendous speed. He's a great player on special teams, and that's a threat that he has, not only going deep on the pass routes, but also on special teams. You got to keep the ball away from him.
Some of the best players in the state of Illinois are going to be on this field in just a few minutes. But first, let's send it back to Chicago. Marshall, Edgy, a little more insight before setting the table for this one.
Well, Sam and Jack, you've kind of laid it out there for us. It's big-time talent, and of course is a big-time game. Can't wait to talk more about it and get you closer to kickoff. That's when we return with more on the IHSA television network.
All right, let's go. I'll strap for the kids, and you get something for the dog.
Sounds good. Let's do this.
Whether you're shopping for gifts or something for yourself,
Don't forget toys for the dog.
rush in for Black Friday deals at Menards that everyone will love. Because when they're gone, they're gone.
Save big money at Menards.
Imagine going from the classroom to the big stage.
This territory, this place, our home, isn't just for learning, but for understanding the very power of what imagination actually means.
A place where you can go from player to coach, from the ground to the sky.
So close your eyes, envision the roar that is a spirit of thousands of Salukis. Capture this moment and go forward together.
It's time for Christmas at Cantini. A time for laughter and joy. A time for cherished moments by coming together with the ones you love. Be awed by twinkling lights. Feel the thrill of gliding on ice. And enjoy the cozy warmth of s'mores by the fire. Cherish the moments together this holiday season at Christmas at Cantini. Get your tickets at cantini.org.
The IHSA, committed to keeping student-athletes safe. Through educational initiatives and national partnerships, we're going the distance to develop safer protocols for our teams. Plus, we continue to improve scheduling and conditioning to reduce injuries from preseason through each state championship. 31 sports, 350,000 student-athletes, and one goal, player safety. The IHSA, the future plays here.
It is day 2, and we're getting ready for game 2 of the state finals in high school football here in Illinois. Next up in 6A, it's Geneva and East St. Louis is welcoming to our IHSA television network studios alongside Edgy Tim O'Halloran. I'm Marshall Harris. You've got the Vikings and the Flyers, two teams looking to make hay on a big stage. Geneva hasn't been here before, but this is all too familiar for East St. Louis.
Yeah, and again, it's the matchup. We've talked about it for a day and a half. We're going to continue to talk about it. When you get to this final game, how do teams match up? I think really even in a lot of aspects. So again, be interesting to see how this one plays out. Both are going to throw it a lot. Should be fun.
Well, for East St. Louis, they finished first and then second and then first and then second. So doing the math there, first seems like it is a possibility, certainly, because they're already going to be either 1 or 2 this time around. All right, for more on this game, let's send it back to Hancock Stadium where Sam and Jack are ready for the call. Guys?
Well, Marshall, I don't know if you're a mathematician, but that math feels pretty ironclad to me. East St. Louis is looking to win their 3rd title in 5 years, facing a Geneva team playing in this game for the first time since '08. And Jack, it's time to zone in on East St. Louis. Their road a little trickier thanks to a tough schedule in the regular season, but this is a team under Darren Sunkett that is so legit.
Well, they're always good. It's a great program. They start these kids out in 8th grade. I mean, they have freshmen that actually start on the varsity. They play no freshman program. But East St. Louis this year, in the very first game of the year, they don't shy away from schedules. The very first game of the year, they beat Loyola. And then the only other loss they had was the IGM. And then here you can look at this. They haven't had much of a test in the playoffs.
3 playoff shutouts, and on the season, their tenacious defense, it's given up just 5.9 points per game. So, hands full for Geneva. This is a team looking to win its first state title. And last time they were in this game, '08, it was against East St. Louis. Here's their path this year.
Well, what's interesting about this to me is they had a really good regular season, and they had kind of a soft schedule till this last semifinal game. They really proved themselves to be a semifinal title-bearing team when they beat Cary Grove, who last year beat East St. Louis for the state championship. So they are a good football team.
Well, I know Marshall was the mathematician, but by the transitive property with Cary Grove and East St. Louis, maybe this is Geneva's year. Well, we'll find out in a few. The 6A state championship on the other side.
The IHSA Football State Championships are brought to you in part by Country Financial. Worry less and feel more confident with insurance designed to meet your specific needs. Visit countryfinancial.com to experience more today.
Coughing and throat feeling sore? We've got medication to get you out the door. Earache, pink eye, bug bite, or rash? Our wonderful staff will treat you in a flash.
What about sprains, strains, and minor fractures too?
Don't worry, our x-rays reveal what's hidden from view. Need care after 9, 10, or 11? Our virtual care's got you 24/7. OSF on-call urgent care, in person or virtual, we're always there.
Every year, the Whiffles family celebrates the season the best way they know how. And every year, they add a little something new. After all this time, you'd think all that extra work put into every last detail would get old. Well, think again. Whiffles Hybrids. Season's greetings from our U.S. farm family to yours.
Home is more than a place. It's full of the people and moments that matter most. Providing for loved ones, expanding your horizons, or simply living the life you love. With all you have to protect, choose insurance you can count on so you can experience more of what you live for. Country Financial. Experience more.
We're going to need more fuel. A renewable way to get that fuel instead of relying on foreign countries for petroleum, we can just grow our own fuel. Our fields are literally full of energy.
The Class 6A state title game is here. It's going to be a treat between East St. Louis and Geneva. And for more on Geneva's star wideout, down to Nicole.
Thanks, Sam. Well, if you're seeing East St. Louis again and they look familiar to you in this state title game, it's because they've been here the last 4 years, and they've won 2 of them. And they have a mighty offense averaging over 55 points per game. But look out for them on defense, and that's going to be led by cornerback Charles Bass. Now, he's headed to the SEC, and let me tell you, Geneva is going to counter with an SEC recruit of their own. That's right, wide receiver Talon Taylor is headed to the SEC to play with Georgia next season, and he leads a Vikings offense that hasn't scored less than 20 points this year. I know we're going to beat it over the head like a dead horse with this SEC matchup, but it is worth the hype, guys. I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, we're all looking forward to watching Talon Taylor today. Thanks so much, Nicole. Yeah, that shot looks pretty good. Georgia won a game yesterday in 8 overtimes. Sign me up for that. In this 6A state title game, coming off a thrilling 5A victory for Nazareth. Excited to watch Talon Taylor?
I had the chance to see him 2 weeks ago. We did a game of the week, and he was outstanding. Just a special player. Great speed.
On the season, 76 catches, 1,500 yards, 23 touchdowns for a grooving Geneva offense. But this might be the best team in the state of Illinois. East St. Louis in the state title game for the 5th consecutive season. They've split the last 4. Oh, and these Flyers are juiced, ready to rumble. East St. Louis is a program so dominant. All-time 10 state championships.
Got a flag already.
And it flies near the East St. Louis sideline. A delay of game on the opening kickoff. Well, that's an inauspicious start to a state title game.
I don't know that I've ever seen that.
I know I haven't. All right, delay of game on the kickoff. And the quest for title number 11 will now start with a kick from their number 11. Reese Shanklin ready to boot it. Talon Taylor and Bennett Conkey are back. This was the same state title game as 08, and 16 years later, it's take two between Geneva and East St. Louis. The ball in Taylor's hands to start, and he sprints to the 30 as a flag flies behind him. 5 seconds, 2 flags.
2 flags, 1 play. We count the kickoff as a play, which it probably is. We've had 2 plays, 2 flags.
Hollis Clark is our lead official, and if the beginning is a sign, this will be a busy day.
Number 15 of the offense. That's a 10-yard penalty.
So a hold on Geneva, penalty for each team. Thank you, Mr. Clark. Got a bunch of Clarks on this crew. And now the Geneva offense, which is led by a senior quarterback who was in the stands as a 3-year-old boy the last time Geneva made it to the state title game. That was in 2008. The Vikings went on to play East St. Louis. They lost big in the title game, but Tony Chahino, he has been a Geneva fan from day one and just misses Conkey. The starting lineup for the Geneva Vikings. It's brought to you by OSF. All eyes on 12 and 1.
Well, ironically, the quarterback originally was a linebacker fullback when he started his career the first several years that he was at Geneva, and they knew he was a good athlete, and they switched him to quarterback, and he's been very good. You know, this year he's had 3,200 yards throwing the ball with 46 touchdowns.
And only 6 interceptions. Very efficient for Tony Chahino. Another, well, no flag came flying, but the official blowing his whistle came in to stop. And there
could be an equipment issue here.
Sending back to the sideline one of the D linemen, Carnell McIntosh. He runs back, and now they're sending someone else back out there, Jaden Wheeler. The 330-pound nose guard will replace him. Not sure exactly what's up, but there's the sub. And now 2nd and 10 for Chahino and the Vikings. Finn Wepner in motion, handoff Michael Rumoro. And their veteran running back gets just a yard. Well, East St. Louis gives up 5.9 points per game. Here are the men behind it. Brought to you by OSF.
Well, behind that interesting stat of points allowed, the other part of it is they've had 6 shutouts this year, which is pretty amazing. They play a rather difficult schedule from down in this area. And, of course, they beat the number 1 team initially in the very first ball game, defending state champ Loyola.
That was a massive win over Loyola. Here's a 3rd and long, and Chahino airs it out to no man's land. Closest receiver was Wepner. And a 3-and-out, which is sort of par for the course against East St. Louis.
Well, and the other part of that par for the course is this is the last thing you want to do is give them field position. And that's what they're going to end up doing, giving them excellent field position.
Well, it's up to the punter, Jaden Hogden, to muscle one deep enough and avoid too delicious field position. Back to receive is Christopher Bennett Jr. Hogden, the lefty boot, and this one's a tumbler that is in front of the 50, now bounces to the other side of that Cardinal And nice field position for a Flyer offense that, frankly, doesn't even need it. Let's meet their starters, presented by OSF. Kendrick Lyons, the quarterback, leads the offense.
Well, you know, they were behind. He was behind Pop Battle for 3 years. And so he was behind a good quarterback, and he was actually better than good. He was outstanding. He throws the ball about 17 times a game with 12 completions, averages about 185 yards per throw, per yards. 5'11", 170-pound, good athlete, real good athlete.
And he's a senior, so the veteran experience. He's been a part of teams that have gone to title games 3 years in a row. East St. Louis thrives on the run, though. They've got two sensational running backs in Ryan Martin and Laravius Woods. And here we go. East St. Louis on a quest for title number 11. And the first offensive snap, it's a throw to Chris Bennett, who evades one tackler. And the next one wraps him up as he twists and tumbles to the 36 with a first down.
And that's something that Geneva wasn't probably expecting, a different wrinkle, different look for East St. Louis, going empty in the backfield and taking that Martin out on the sideline. Tough guy to cover by a cornerback.
Gain of 17. First down into Geneva territory. And now Ryan Martin comes on, joining his quarterback in the backfield. A couple seniors back there as this rocket is complete to Ronnie Go-Miller. And back-to-back first downs.
Well, again, offensively, you can see that East St. Louis, based on their strong running game, which is normally what they go to all the time, they're setting up the run with the pass. They've become more proficient with the passing game over the last couple years. They've always got great athletes out on the perimeter, great speed and excellent hands.
2 plays and 30 yards so far for an efficient offense. Creeping on the red zone now. Miller in motion. Hand off Martin. Off the left end to Ryan Martin with a twist to the 4.
Got a flag,
flag comes flying. Martin shaking his head. Looks like it's against East St. Louis. And the third penalty. Here's our head official, Alice Clark.
Holding number 2 of the offense. That's a 10-yard penalty.
So that's on the wideout, Ronnie Go-Miller. And it sets the Flyers back.
If anything over the years has hurt East St. Louis, it hasn't been their offense and it hasn't been their defense. If you add up the amount of penalties that they have, especially last year, for example, against Cary Grove, you can see the hold right at the top of your screen right there. It's penalties that hurt them.
So 1st and 10 after that penalty. And Lions, feeling the heat, goes back to Bennett. And Bennett cuts back to the 10. And that's a first down. Let's meet the Geneva defense. These starters are presented by OSF. It's a defensive front that kept Cary Grove quiet enough and booked their seat here in Normal. Now looking to stop East St. Louis. 1st and 10 at the 11. And Ryan Martin rumbles through for about 5. The Flyers have gotten some nice chunks on every touch.
Well, East St. Louis always has a big offensive line. And this year has not changed anything.
Their center, Blake Rhodes Brown, 300 pounds. Their right guard, Marquise Sanders, 320. A lot of beef up front. On 2nd and 5, Laravius Woods into the end zone. And East St. Louis delivers the first punch.
Well, he just got in behind that big offensive line that averages about 280-some pounds. And they just drove back the defensive front of Geneva. And this is something that they're very successful with, is their running game.
A 6-yard score on Wood's first touch. East St. Louis picks up where they left off. It's been such a dominant playoff run. 48-0 win in the semi. And in the state final, 6, that one just missed. 6-0 pending a flag, which came flying after the kick. I have a feeling we'll get to know Mr. Clark's voice very well.
Could have been how they lined up. We'll find out.
All right, what's the word?
Personal foul, roughing the kicker on number 26.
Wow, a roughing the kicker, which will give another opportunity for East St. Louis after the miss, as they tag Tate Barron for that. And looks like the Flyers are content to just re-kick.
Well, their kicker usually gets a lot of practice because of the amount of points that they score. They average over 43 points a game.
Reese Shanklin, also backup quarterback for East St. Louis.
And when was the last time you saw a straight-on kicker?
Well, he misses again.
He misses again. Maybe that's because he's straight on. I don't know, but all the kids I've seen for the last several years are soccer-style kickers.
Good start, East St. Louis.
Imagine going from the classroom to the big stage.
This territory, this place, our home, isn't just for learning, but for understanding the very power of what imagination actually means.
A place where you can go, from player to coach, from the ground to the sky.
So close your eyes, envision the roar that is a spirit of thousands of Salukis. Capture this moment and go forward together.
All right, let's go. I'll strap for the kids and you get something for the dog.
Sounds good. Let's do this.
Whether you're shopping for gifts or something for yourself.
Don't forget toys for the dog.
Rush in for Black Friday deals at Menards that everyone will love. Because when they're gone, they're gone.
Save big money at Menards.
The IHSA Football State Championships are brought to you in part by Menards. Save big money on all your home improvement needs. And by SIU Carbondale. Imagine the possibilities.
Probably the principal.
If you like orange, then this suit is for you. And on a 20-degree day in Normal, it's warm. It's functional.
I don't know if it's functional. It's warm. But
the only function I need is to stay warm today.
That's true. He hasn't moved in the first 10 minutes here.
You think he's frozen?
Possible.
Frozen and orange.
Good
okay,
team.
Back to the football.
Good team colors, though.
It's beautiful. Blue, orange, those chrome helmets. And they look good on that drive. 3 runs, 3 passes, and a touchdown for East St. Louis to take a lead in their 5th state championship game in 5 years. Shanklin, after missing the PAT, with a nice booming kickoff, caught by Georgia commit Talon Taylor. A burst of speed for Taylor. He's to the 40 and shoved out of bounds by the kicker. Talon Taylor, an electric talent.
And right off the bat, anytime you have a person that can run like he can on special teams, you're going to end up with good field position. He has broken several punt and kickoff returns during the season, and this is one of the reasons why Georgia wants him on their roster.
And Georgia will have him on the roster next year. Talon Taylor number 31 ranked player in the nation, according to the ESPN 300. Next stop, SEC, and here's another whistle. Some action over by the East St. Louis sideline, and it's just a timeout. Darren Sunkett calls his first.
I think they had some confusion in the secondary. They're making sure they know where Taylor is.
All eyes on Taylor. All eyes on this 6A state championship. First quarter resumes in a moment.
Coughing and throat feeling sore? We've got medication to get you out the door. Earache, pink eye, bug bite, or rash? Our wonderful staff will treat you in a flash.
What about sprains, strains, and minor fractures too?
Don't worry, our x-rays reveal what's hidden from view. Need care after 9, 10, or 11? Our virtual care's got you 24/7. OSF on-call urgent care, in person or virtual, we're always there.
We're going to need more fuel. A renewable way to get that fuel instead of relying on foreign countries for petroleum. We can just grow our own fuel. Our fields are literally full of energy.
We've told you all about one SEC recruit and Georgia-bound Talon Taylor. Well, here's his opponent today, Missouri-bound Charles Bass, one of the best defensive backs in the country. So he'll follow Taylor, he'll go to the SEC, and today he will really follow Taylor.
Well, and that's the thing that Geneva's going to have to try and do is figure out how they can keep Bass off of Taylor so Taylor has the opportunity to make some big plays. It's going to be tough to do because they play man coverage no matter what they do with Taylor. Even if they run him in motion, Bass is going to go with him. And it's going to be some really interesting matchup situations here in this first half to see the adjustments that Taylor and or Geneva does make.
Coach Sunkett was asked about Taylor. Hey, how do you guard Taylor? What do you do with Taylor? He said, I'm putting Bass on him all day, all night. Intended for Wepner.
Flag.
There's a late flag. Bass was on the coverage. But looks like they're going to get him.
And the other interesting thing here, Matt, Sam, is the fact that Wepner is really an outstanding talent. I mean, he could be a great wide receiver in another team, but he's kind of overshadowed by Taylor.
Back to Mr. Clark.
Holding on defense. That's a 10-yard penalty.
Yep, so that's on Bass, the hold. And Geneva moves into East St. Louis territory. You bring up Wepner, Jack. 926 yards and 14 touchdowns. Where's the hold?
Just prior to the throw.
And now another throw for Tony Chihino. Gets out of the pocket. Good footwork as he rifles it out of bounds, avoiding the sack. Over near our orange friend. Another incompletion. There is the walking creamsicle. And I say that affectionately.
Oh, absolutely.
I love a creamsicle. Hey, how about the Geneva offense? Chihino's 0 for 3. And they look a little out of sorts early.
Well, some personnel changes here for East St. Louis.
They've got a lot of horses in the stable. They can rotate quite a bit. As Chihino drops back again, a screen to Romero is broken up big time. The sophomore, Phillip White, on the tackle.
Nice job of reading that screen. I think what happens a lot of times is he's reading an alignment, and they take him right to the football, and that's exactly what happened here. Good job here of reading the ball, getting up there, making a good, clean tackle.
All over it. His coach says he's going to be a big-time recruit one day. And a powerful hit. 3rd and 12 now. Geneva could use something good. Negative 2 yards of offense. They've only benefited from penalties so far. And here's a penalty against Geneva. The clock ran out. Think that's a delay of game?
It might be a timeout.
Did they get a timeout off?
Geneva.
Yep. Boone Thorgerson got the timeout off, and here's Boone, a star quarterback back in his heyday. Played at NIU. He was an all-state player at Caneland High School under his coach and father, Joe, a two-time state champ. And here's his boy.
He did a nice job when he went to Northern Illinois as a defensive back, and his brother is also a football coach.
Something about Thorgerson's and coaching, and Boone has lifted Geneva to its first state title game in 16 years. Well, this guy, no stranger to the Illinois state title. Darren Sunkett and East St. Louis have been here now 5 years in a row. Sunkett has 4 state titles.
Amazing record what Darren has. He's been 25 years at East St. Louis, 230 wins and 67 losses. But he's been at one other school for 4 years. He's got 264 wins and 78 losses. Great record.
Another whistle. What's going on now? No flag, but something happening with Talon Taylor at the top of your screen. And they're ushering him off the field. Second time we've seen that. A whistle and a player removed from the game. No flag.
Sometimes it's an equipment issue, either a mouthpiece or he doesn't have a hip pad in or a knee pad, and the officials see that and they can penalize the team or warn them. In this case, they warned him. In the other case earlier when they made a substitution on East St. Louis, I think that was the case. He didn't have a mouthpiece.
All right, let's get our mouthpieces, let's get our pads, helmets, everything situated for 3rd and 12. Chahino finds a man near the 20. Will Pascoli has a first down. The first productive offensive play.
Geneva certainly has to take advantage of these field position situations for themselves. They've got to make sure that if they get in good field position, they've got to be able to score. Because with the speed that East St. Louis has in the special teams, it's not going to happen that often. Taylor got him in this position. They got to take advantage of it.
Geneva's offense averages 42 points a game as Romero gets nothing. Gobbled up by the all-state linebacker Keandre McClendon. He'll play college football next fall at Lindenwood University.
Mike Romero, running back for Geneva, had a great season, over 1,000 yards. But the other thing that's really interesting about him is he's an all-state academic player. I'm always impressed with those kids, that they could put in the time to practice and whatever, but yet still hit the books.
And the academic fakes the handoff. Taylor gets it and carries a few men with him to the 16 before he's popped down by Melvin Sledge.
Good first down play again. First down is important, and right now they're looking at 3rd down and about 4 or 5. And of course, this is 2-down territory or 4-down territory. They've got 2 plays to get that first down.
You think 2-down territory?
Absolutely. A game like this against a team like this, you got to do it.
Every opportunity against the Flyers, so valuable. Couple fake handoffs. Oh, and Chahino's lost, and he lost the ball. Able to grab it with one hand and save it from being a turnover.
He had a man wide open in the end zone. In fact, both defensive backs for East St. Louis are talking about it. Who had him, who didn't have him. He was wide open.
Well, Chahino couldn't see it. He was spun on the ground. Sandwiched down. Leon Howard Jr. leading the charge. And to your point, Jack, 2-down territory. They're going on 4th and 14 at the 26. 4 wide. Chahino hurls it towards Taylor, and not even close. So Geneva gets into the red zone, and nothing.
Well, only one good thing came out of this is that they have East St. Louis in poor field position from the standpoint of where they were earlier, so they've got to be able to take advantage of this. And of course, Taylor is the big key on special teams.
Hey, speaking of keys, let's get to our keys to the game, which are brought to you by Southern Illinois University Carbondale. Imagine the possibilities.
Well, as you can see right there, slow down Taylor, make him one-dimensional. Well, you can't do that when he's on the special teams and also a wideout. And then, of course, Geneva protect and if the quarterback can avoid turnovers. They haven't been able to protect the quarterback thus far. And field position, they're doing okay with that so far.
From the 25, here's Kendrick Lyons wrapped up. Ooh. Just got the ball out before the sack.
That was
He
close.
was sandwiched down by David of Itia. He's playing a game of Twister and somehow escaped with an incompletion.
That was close. I could have thought that initially that might have been a fumble, but he was going forward, I guess, with that.
It was in the area of Ronnie Gomiller. First incompletion for Lions. And here's a 2nd and 10. A burst of speed up the middle. Near, but not quite at a first down for Amir Tillman. Gain of 9.
East St. Louis always has the advantage of big offensive linemen. That's one advantage. But then they have really quick backs. So it doesn't take long for those offensive linemen. They don't have to sustain a block too long because those backs hit the hole so very quickly.
And Tillman hangs in here. He is lightning quick for the 3rd and 1. Little adjustment. Lions a fake. Chased by Avitia, and Lions just able to muster a first down. It was a broken play, but it keeps the drive alive.
That's the advantage of having an athlete as your quarterback. Got a concern with his arm going downfield on the deep throws, but yet he's an athlete, keep plays alive when he's rushed. He's got quick feet, and a lot of times quarterbacks have the advantage if they can run. Besides throw the ball, that's a big pressure on the secondary.
5 first downs this quarter for the Flyers. A proud program looking for Title 11. Here's Bennett on an end around. Bennett turns the corner, and it's a first down. Flyers offense starting to hum.
Well, that's the kind of a back you don't want to give a head start to, and that's exactly what he had. When you think about the jet sweep, you've got a guy flying, hand the ball off to him. He's going full speed, but yet people on the outside are standing flat-footed. So that gives you an idea of why it's tough to keep up with him.
Well, they've got an IMAX screen down there to study the tape. Next level. Some teams have the tablets. East St. Louis, the big monitor. And Lions on a slant route finds LaRon Baker. And just so efficient. Haven't had any huge plays, but just a lot of chunks.
Good discipline right there, knowing exactly where to go in that zone. Just settle down in there. Oftentimes you'll find lesser receivers that'll keep running, and they run right into the linebacker, and they force the quarterback to throw it in the coverage. But you get good wide receivers. They can read the coverage on the secondary, and they settle down in that dead zone.
97 yards already of offense. Now they're over 100 with a phenomenal pop-up grab for Ronnie Gomiller. Lost it and then re-secured it.
Almost looked like that was going to be a pick six. Turned out to be a reception.
Acrobatic.
Concentration, great concentration.
And with 3 Vikings in the area, Gomiller able to secure reception number 2. And here goes Bennett again on a screen pass, and he sprints through for a first down and a touchdown. There's a flag following the play.
Could be holding.
And this one might be coming back. A hold on a screen like that, par for the course.
That'd be basically the second play, almost the same as it happened earlier in their first possession.
Holding. Number 6 of the offense. That's a 10-yard.
So another hold against a wide receiver. Well, this time they get to Ryan Martin. So these are not holds against linemen. Watch Martin there. 6.
Yeah, he's got a good piece of his jersey. You know what's always interesting to me is the fans get really upset with a call like that on a big play. But it's a penalty. I mean, he's holding. Now, if it had only been a 2-yard gain and he was holding, I don't think they'd be so upset. But that's just the nature of the spectator.
Can't fight human nature.
No, you can't.
So back to first down. Back to Martin, who just committed the penalty. And he's out to the 29. So a 2nd and 7 now as Martin comes out. The fuel to a lot of the engine that has been East St. Louis. Coach Sunkett says how he goes, we go. Gained 20 pounds over the offseason. So with Martin back on the sideline, Laravius Woods joins his quarterback in the backfield. Lions a keeper here against the blitz. Look at those legs. He hums his way towards the first down. Another chunk.
That's really tough for defensive linemen to try and get a hold of an athlete like that. They just don't have the speed to keep up with a player like that, especially when he gets out on the edge. It's one thing when they keep him in the pocket. That's what they want to do. But he's got those active feet, gets him out on the edge, and he's got that run-throw option. And it's really pressure on the secondary when you got an athlete like that.
Dual threat monster, Kendrick Lyons. And now a 3rd and 1. 3 wideouts and the running back Woods. It's to the outside and pass is broken up. Barron on the coverage. And now decision time for the Flyers.
Much of a decision based on their extra point. They're going to be kicking a field goal.
Yeah, they're going. The Geneva fans who are here at the state title game for the first time since '08 all rise to their feet. Huge 4th down. With a yard to go.
Timeout.
Looks like a timeout. The 2nd of the half for East St. Louis. The 2nd of the quarter.
That's their 2nd.
So 08, last time Geneva was in this game happened to be, of course, against the same team. Final score of 33-14. Vikings lost to East St. Louis. This was a different time and a different place down in Champaign, but same 2 programs.
Same 2 programs, and the coach for Geneva at that time, I believe, was Jerry Ockstetter, who really got the Geneva program going. And they've been good ever since, but they've never gotten back here. You can be good, but that doesn't mean you're going to get back to the state championship game. There's so many different hurdles you got to go through to get here.
And 16 years of waiting for Geneva. And Boone Thorgerson told us, I've got 2 coaches on my staff who were a part of the program in '08. Made sure both of them spoke to the team this week about what it meant to the community. And looking at the crowd means a great deal. So a 4th and 1. Boy, the Vikings could use a stop. Here goes Bennett on a jet sweep. Bennett has a first down. And with a cutback, Bennett is inside the 5.
For a young man that put on 20 pounds, he moves pretty well. If I put on 20 pounds, I'd have to take the elevator up here to the press box instead of going on the spiral staircase.
Here's
Good
Bennett
speed.
with the burst. No elevator needed.
Great vision.
Just hustle. So, first and goal from the 1. Looking for a 2-possession lead. Here goes Amir Timlin. And the pass, or rather the run, is blown up in the backfield. Troy Velez on the tackle.
Nice job there. They tried to go to an unbalanced line. They took one of the big 300-pound linemen and put him on the strong side and then tried to run back weak. But the defensive end made a nice field tackle there.
So second and goal from the 4. The 13th play of a monster drive. Fake the handoff. It's a dart. Go Miller, the touchdown. So 2 possessions, 2 touchdowns for East St. Louis.
What a great catch there by Ronnie Gomiller.
Rise high and go get it.
Little ball fake right here, just running a little slant across the middle in behind the linebackers. That little ball fake pulled the linebackers up just enough where he was able to get in behind them for that great throw by Lyons, which was a rocket that he threw in there.
After missing his last extra point, Reese Shanklin drills this one.
I wonder if he has the square toe. The last time that straightaway kickers used to have the square toe, they changed shoes, and it was a square toe. And you remember Dempsey had that
Green
long
Bay
kick from the Saints, the 63-yarder. He had that square toe, and that used to be the thing that people in the 70s and 80s had. The straight-on kickers, they would always use that square toe, change shoes or whatever. And then, of course, we got to the soccer-style kickers in the late 80s, and now that's all we see.
Right, and that 63-yard field goal, that was a record for decades in the NFL, and now the kickers are blowing that off.
Wow, that's a routine kick.
Yeah.
They're all kicking within the 50s now.
Hey, how about this drive for East St. Louis? 13 plays, 74 yards in just under 5 minutes. And the balance, 7 runs and 6 passes. Final play, a 4-yard touchdown pass from the quarterback Lyons to one of his stud wideouts, Go Miller.
And they had a big play called back on that drive. On that screen pass, it was called back. He got down about the 2-yard line.
They're doing everything at will unless there's a penalty. Here's Taylor. You got to watch whenever he's got the ball. Out to the 24. So a Geneva offense that has only produced 1 productive play. 12 yards in total. Now down 13 will take over after this drive.
And that time, on the time there, that's a little longer than usually East St. Louis takes. They're a big strike team, so that was a pretty good drive, and they lost about a 20-yard run in the field position on that particular drive, so it was a little longer than it looked.
So here's Tony Chihino and the Viking offense. Ramoro's gotten nothing today, and he is swallowed up. Caleb Brown was all over it.
It's coming down to this point right now, the offensive line, if they're going to have to be able to sustain that defensive line. You can see right there, just a brush block, never gets a piece of him, and he comes right in and makes the play.
3 tackles for loss in the quarter for the Flyers. Compare that with only 2 Geneva first downs in the opening 12 minutes, which have just come to an end. East St. Louis, they've been here 4 years in a row. And number 5, starting quite nicely.
Ashley's Black Friday deals continue this weekend. Today through Monday, shop incredible doorbusters starting at just $1.99. Plus, take 25% off your entire purchase. The best Black Friday furniture deals are only at Ashley.
Is college not what you thought it was going to be? Here's an opportunity to work with your hands as well as your mind. Learn how to insulate mechanical systems in the industrial and commercial industries. With the Heat and Frost Insulators Local 17, you get to earn while you learn through our apprenticeship program. After 5 years, you'll finish with no debt, money in the bank, and you'll be on your way towards a pension. Scan the QR code and apply today, or visit our website to learn more.
Tired of the same old routine? Ready for a career that's always changing? In the roofing trades, every day is a new adventure. Learn a skilled trade, earn competitive wages, enjoy great benefits and solid opportunities for career advancement. With starting wages and benefits above $50 per hour, you can earn while you learn. So, are you ready to climb to new heights? Learn and join the roofing trades today.
Tomorrow, I'll be making a difference in the classroom. Tonight, I'll be making memories with the dance team.
I'm expressing myself with my poetry and with my hands.
I'm providing for my patients and for my community.
At NIU, you'll go places as unique as you, with the resources and support to get you there. Join us and start writing your story today.
Ashley's Black Friday deals continue this weekend. Now through Monday, shop incredible doorbusters starting at just $1.99. Plus, get the best prices on Ashley products guaranteed. The best Black Friday furniture deals are only at Ashley.
All East St. Louis in the first quarter. Rematch of the 2008 title game. It's starting in a very similar way this year. Okay, let's check out our Road to Normal, which is brought to you by the Illinois State Police. Integrity, service, pride. Well, for East St. Louis, it's a trip of 160 miles north and east. For Geneva, well, the opposite. They're coming from Kane County up near Chicago, about 115 miles to where we are now. Hancock Stadium, same site as the first ever Illinois State Championship 50 years ago, 1974, in which East St. Louis was shocked by Glenbrook North. Now, 50 years later, we'll see if they can pick up another title. Tony Chahino and the Geneva offense with a fumbled snap. And for the second time, he's able to fall on his own fumble.
You know, you talked about 1974 when Sam Samorian and Glenbrook North upset. We say upset. To me, if you're in a title game, it's never an upset, but they beat East St. Louis. Well, last year, you could look at the same thing. East St. Louis came into the game. They were outstanding, and Cary Grove beat them in a great football game.
It's never an upset in the state title.
That's the way I look at it. I don't care what your record is. It's never an upset.
Chahino on 3rd and 17 against the blitz. Just tumbles to the ground under Caleb Brown and the Geneva offense. Just nothing today. Only 1 yard of total offense.
They had one possession was 0 yards, second 0 yards, third one 1 yard. Then they had 4 yards, but then they lost 4. So, I mean, they really have had nothing offensively whatsoever. And you got to give a lot of credit to East St. Louis defense. They're very active and they're really quick up front.
So now a punt for Hogden. And this one flies, rolls to the 45. Well, you credit East St. Louis's defense. They've been doing this all year long. They average 5.9 points per game. And that's in a 13-game sample size. There's no fluke there.
With 6 shutouts.
Yeah. It's incredible. Incredible. 3 of those shutouts in the playoffs.
Well, they're going to get good field position again right here.
So after the first quarter, 13-0. Which means now on the season, East St. Louis has outscored opponents in the first quarter 188-7.
You give all those stats to some of their opponents, they might not show up.
Right. I wouldn't sign up to play them.
Well, that's really, seriously, one of the reasons why they have difficulty scheduling people.
And here's a flag. Penalty number 7. And it's a delay of game on the Flyers. So they're having an easy time, but still making things a little more difficult with the 5 penalties. Jack, you mentioned the schedule. East St. Louis did pick up a huge opponent in Florida-based IMG Academy for a massive game in October. Their only loss of the season, as that one bounces in front of Go-Miller.
Well, to add to that, Sam, the other one was they played Loyola down here in the very first game of the year. And many people were very surprised at them beating Loyola.
And then against some lesser competition in the playoffs, blowout after blowout. 3 shutouts. Yeah, the score of that Loyola game in August, 34-7. I mean, that was never close. As Lyons goes to work and rifles it to Armand Sharp for the first down.
And that's a breakdown in the secondary. Again, him rolling out. He's so effective running with the football. You can get another quarterback that can roll out, but he's not really a threat to run with the ball. He's just getting away from the line of scrimmage to throw it downfield. In this case, Lyons is getting to the outside with the threat to either run it or throw it. And that puts a lot of pressure on the secondary.
Dual threat star as his team with a huge lead and a full house here as Martin goes to work, a spin, and he's able to turn a negative play into an 8-yard gain. Helmet popped off at the end.
That was going to be a 5-yard loss when he was initially hit, and he ends up gaining about 7 or 8. Kind of gives you an idea of what kind of a running back he is. And of course, gaining that 20 pounds, he doesn't look like he lost that much speed, but you can see right here, he's in the backfield by 5 yards. Some poor tackling, but what an effort on his part. Still maintain that quickness that he had last year by adding those 20 pounds.
If you're a fan of the MAC, you'll see him next year. He's playing college football at Kent State. Now Tillman turns the corner over near the 20-yard line. And another chunk play for East St. Louis. They've got 10 first downs in just over 14 minutes of game time.
You notice most of their plays are run on the edges. You know, you looked at Joliet Catholic, basically everything was inside the tackles. And with East St. Louis, they just want to get on the outside and let those athletes run, show their speed, and somebody try and tackle them in the open field.
A lot of times today, it's been trying and failing. Now Laravius Woods in the middle of the field, into the end zone. 3rd touchdown for the Flyers. 21-yarder.
What a nice run. You talk about quickness. That was on display right there with that run.
They call him Fresh. And his play today, super fresh. His 2nd touchdown. Here it is.
Watch how quick he is with that cutback. Good job by the offensive line kicking out. It was like a little zone run. But he had the ability to see the vision to cut back against the grain. Great quickness. And you talk about a sub for Martin. Boy, they didn't lose much by putting him in. This is a good shot of a very unusual, days gone by kind of kicking.
Reese Shanklin with a blast from the past for the extra point. And through 15 minutes, East St. Louis starting to pile on in their 5th trip to the title game in 5 years.
Coughing and throat feeling sore? We've got medication to get you out the door. Earache, pink eye, bug bite, or rash? Our wonderful staff will treat you in a flash.
What about sprains, strains, and minor fractures too?
Don't worry. Our x-rays reveal what's hidden from view. Need care after 9, 10, or 11? Our virtual care's got you 24/7. OSF On-Call Urgent Care. In person or virtual, we're always there.
We're going to need more fuel. A renewable way to get that fuel instead of relying on foreign countries for petroleum, we can just grow our own fuel. Our fields are literally full of energy.
Laravius Woods goes by fresh. And today, Jack, he has been fresh. 2 touchdowns to give East St. Louis a monster lead.
He is so super quick. He has some power, but actually right here is the run that I like. The cutback, what speed, goes into the end zone. He's a nice replacement for Martin.
Yeah, I'd say he's a decent backup plan. 2 carries, 27 yards, 2 touchdowns. Now, Nicole has a little more on Mr. Fresh.
Mr. Fresh, indeed. Well, he's a senior running back, and you know, the seniors have been performing in the state championship game, but this is actually a pretty youthful roster, and Woods has 2 sophomores behind him in that running back core. You know, you have Charles Bass on defense leading a young secondary, and coach tells me that he credits these senior leaders for their success. They might not be the most talented team, Coach Tunkett said, but they have a great bond and chemistry that makes up for their youth and lack of talent in certain areas. He said you'll see these kids together all the time. If you see one of them, you see 8 of them. They'll put 2 to 3 tables together at lunch. And guys, Mr. Fresh and his team like to enjoy wings on every Monday. Sounds good to me.
Well, who doesn't? Monday wings, that sounds nice. And Fresh and East St. Louis, the youth, the speed, all of it coming together perfectly. Thanks so much, Nicole. On the return, here is Conkey, who's thrown down. And nothing happening for Geneva. What a tackle.
That's a tough run going back against the grain on a return.
The ball control today has been astounding. Big numbers on the top, little numbers on the bottom.
Well, part of that is East St. Louis defense is so active. I mean, those linebackers and those defensive linemen are just so quick, and they just get on you so quickly that plays don't develop.
So Chahino looking for something. Hurls it towards Wepner. And a beautiful turnaround catch for the senior, Finn Wepner.
Well, we mentioned that he's a nice bookend to Taylor. He's had a nice career so far as a senior. He's got 41 catches coming into this ball game. Nice target at 6'1". And as you can see right there, he's got great hands.
$14 touchdowns and nearly 1,000 yards this season for Wepner. So first down for Geneva as they look to turn momentum. Chahino rolling. Chahino airing. And it's Wepner again. Wepner inside the 20.
That was a great job of delivering the football by Chahino, putting the ball right on the money, especially when you're running a sprint out and you're throwing the ball on the run to make a delivery like that, to put it right on the money. That's an excellent throw. You can suspect that sometimes when you're sitting in the pocket, but not when you're on the run. That shows you what kind of an athlete he is.
Prior to this possession, they had 2 yards of offense. Last 2 plays, 56 yards. Back to Wepner again. He's shoved down. And I think a PI is coming on Quincy Minor.
We've got a flag down.
And Minor just tossed him aside. He's saying, what?
Saying who, me? I wouldn't do such a thing.
I think so.
On number 23, that's half the distance to the goal.
That's an easy call. I think he means 24, which is Quincy Minor.
I didn't see Sledge in there, and he's number 23.
Just a miss ID.
Yeah.
So again, Geneva in the red zone. Last time we saw them here, a fumble took them out of it, forced a 4th and long, unsuccessful turnover on downs. That was messy. Let's see if this one goes better. Chahino's got 1st and 10 at the 12. Taylor at the bottom of your screen, the star wideout. Chahino looking towards him. Chahino throws it at his feet.
He'd been better off going to the inside slant. It was a shorter pass play, and he was open. Anytime you run that slant, you got the defensive back on your hip. It's going to be a pretty good possession because after you make the catch, he's on your hip. You got some running room.
Taylor's been targeted 3 times, 1 catch for 5 yards. One of your keys was to limit him. So far, so good.
But most of the teams that he's played in the prior 13 games weren't able to match up speed with him like East St. Louis can.
And now Boone Thorgeson uses his 2nd timeout. Well, he senses the moment, right? If you're going to make this game competitive, this is a must-score possession.
Well, anytime that they're down in this kind of field position, they've got to be able to score.
We'll see if they do in a few. For now, we step aside the 6A state title game in Normal.
Every year, the Whiffles family celebrates the season the best way they know how. And every year, they add a little something new. After all this time, you'd think all that extra work put into every last detail would get old. Well, think again. Whiffles Hybrids. Season's greetings from our U.S. farm family to yours.
Home is more than a place. It's full of the people and moments that matter most. Providing for loved ones, expanding your horizons, or simply living the life you love. With all you have to protect, choose insurance you can count on so you can experience more of what you live for. Country Financial. Experience more.
Well, Geneva's here in the state title game for the first time since 2008, and they are here because of this, a thriller of a game in the semi against Cary Grove. So this is Cary Grove quarterback Peyton Seabrug storming through 53-yard touchdown to make it 28-26 late in the 4th. 2-point conversion time, stuffed at the 1-yard line. Dane Turner and Troy Velez team up to stop the fullback and punch Geneva's ticket into the state title game. That was an absolute thriller, and can't forget that Cary Grove was the reigning state champs.
Well, and that is very similar to what we saw here in the Joliet Catholic Nazareth game. Came right down to the end where a 2-point conversion, and Joliet Catholic was unable to convert it, and Nazareth wins the ball game. Very exciting game.
A pretty easy road until you get to Cary Grove, and Geneva able to pull it out. Also benefited from a big extra point block earlier in the game. Pulled out all the stops, and thus Geneva is here. It's actually their 3rd trip to the state title. We keep talking about 2008, but they were also here in 1975, 49 years ago. So now 2nd and 10 from the Flyer 12. And more whistle, more flag. Flags have flied. This is the 9th.
Dead ball, substitution on the defense. It's a 5-yard penalty. Still
so a substitution foul against East St. Louis, which now has 7 penalties for 61 yards.
They're covering the whole gamut of type of penalties, especially when on the kickoff they got a penalty.
Chahino to Taylor in the back of the end zone. They connect for 6.
Nice throw. What a great catch that he makes. Gave him an inside move and then breaks it back. Chahino puts the ball right on the money. It actually was a high throw, but when you have an athlete like Taylor at 6'3", he can go up and get it, and that's exactly what he did.
And against a team that gives up 6 points a game, Geneva strikes with its first touchdown. And who else but Talon Taylor? The Georgia recruit with a score. Boone Thorgeson's team is here to fight. For the extra point, Jaden Hogden punches it through. A 7-play drive, 79 yards. And a wonderful connection from Chahino to Taylor.
You can see the break right here. He cuts back out. He gets those two, the safety and the corner, to bite on his inside move, and he breaks it out. But key to that was Chahino puts it on the money, but you go to their 6'3" target that can pick it off. And that's one of the reasons why he's going to Georgia. He's got the hands and he's got the speed.
It had been a frustrating day for Taylor up to that point. 1 catch for 5 yards. Well, now a touchdown. And the Geneva band that marched from Kane County down here to Normal, able to celebrate a touchdown.
It was a long march.
I think they took a bus. But if you're a real marching band, don't you march?
Well, I would think, but I'd hate to be that bus driver if they were practicing the whole way down.
Whew. I would say no instruments. Put those under. 115 miles from Geneva.
A lot of tunes.
The kickoff. Bennett Jr. off the bounce. Here we go. Bennett to the 25. And time for the 4th East St. Louis possession. The first 3, all touchdowns. They were marching to a nice beat.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see if there's adjustments that Geneva has made. But, you know, it's tough to make adjustments to speed. You could play a zone if you're getting beaten by your man coverage. Let's say if they're running crossing routes and you can't keep up with them, so you go to a zone. But part of it is they've got an outstanding athletic quarterback that can make plays. Even if you put pressure on him, he breaks it to the outside. That puts more pressure on the secondary.
Kendrick Lyons replaced the great Pops Battle, multi-time state champion who graduated in the spring, and now the senior Lions in the spotlight, looking for a state title of his own. Handoff. This is Martin, stuffed in the backfield. Nothing. Tyler Drake on the tackle.
Building up a little confidence here. That's what Geneva needs, is develop some confidence in the fact that they can handle that front line of scrimmage. And how you beat offensive line of scrimmage and offensive linemen that are that big, you got to beat them with quickness. And if I'm an offensive line coach and they're that big and we're getting beat by quickness, you close down the splits.
Four wide for Lions. And Lions goes to the middle, and there's Go Miller. He's been his man today. And Ronnie rumbles to the 45. 1st and 10.
Kendrick Lyons has a cannon for an arm. I mean, he just really rockets that ball in there. Watch he delays on this throw and gets it right in the seam between that linebacker. I mean, that's a rocket.
9 of 12, 106 yards, wielding that rocket. And now back to Martin, who again is stuffed, this time dragged down by the big boy, Avitia. The run game has struggled.
Well, they're trying to run the zone where they're going straight down. You can see how the offensive linemen start going down. It's not so much they're trying to move up the field, but they're trying to give the running back a lane to cut into at a seam. They're running like a zone concept, and Geneva's just doing a nice job of penetrating that and throwing it off.
On 2nd and 11, it's back to the air, and Lions with another bullet. It was dropped as Baker got popped, and a flag flew behind the play.
It's going to be an interesting call here because this was really a bang-bang play.
Penalty number 10. And they'll pick it up. So it's just an incomplete pass to set up a 3rd and long. This was an interesting one.
Yeah, I think that he might have thought that he made that hit prior to the ball being delivered, but
at the 44-yard line.
It's good timing right there. Good call by the officials picking that flag up.
So
got a
suddenly,
good fish hitting crew here, Sam. You know, the thing is, sometimes people say, well, look at all the penalties. Well, that's not the officials' fault. I mean, they're calling the penalties as they see them.
Right, they're accurate calls.
Absolutely.
These are the best officials in the state here for the state title game. And on 3rd and 11, Lions flushed out, but Lions, no problem with that. Uses the legs for 1st down.
And this is the thing that you can have difficulty defending. The defensive backs are down the field covering the receivers, and all of a sudden he starts scrambling outside. Well, once he scrambles past those defensive linemen, they're not going to catch him. The linebackers are in drop coverage. So what an advantage it is to have a running quarterback that not only can throw the ball as well as he does, but can scramble as effectively as he does.
Gain of 20 on the scramble. Now on 1st down, back to the ground. Tillman diving to the 31. Gain of 4.
Seems even like when they look like they're going to get a loss, they end up with 4 yards. And that was a pretty nice play by Sean Lane, inside linebacker, the leading tackler for Geneva. Also an all-state academic player, number 7, 5'11", 210. Made a nice play, shoestring tackle there. Looked like he had him for a loss. He ends up with 4 yards.
And with 4 wide now on 2nd and 5. Lions, the keeper, shakes off Velez. He's running. He is sprinting. He is tumbling to the 2. Lions tripped up by the turf.
Great athlete.
A bolt of lightning. Number 8 in white can move.
Pretty good job of downfield blocking. I don't know if that was legal, but he stayed after him, sustained the block the entire time, probably about a 20-yard block from start to finish.
And he cleared the path.
Well, he did. Looked like he had a little Velcro attached, but...
From the 4 to Ryan Martin for the touchdown. And just when momentum was with Geneva, the Flyers strike back.
They've got all the tools. And the toolbox is left wide open when you have a quarterback that can do what Kendrick Lyons can do.
A 75-yard drive. The 8th play is a touchdown.
Boy, they've got talent.
Avitia's down for Geneva. One of their biggest defensive linemen at 235, a junior, getting checked out. So for Geneva, time to figure things out. For East St. Louis, it's just a continuation of what they've done under Darren Sunkett. 4-time champion in the state of Illinois. Also with a Missouri state title at Riverview Gardens High School.
I thought what was interesting is when we talked to him, how he talked about, I asked him about the freshmen, because over the years in games I've covered here with him, they've actually had freshmen, much like Nazareth, freshmen and sophomores starting in the games, and I asked him about their program. They don't play a freshman schedule. They know and target these kids as 8th graders and know how good they're going to be, and they play those freshmen in JV games, and that's how they get to be so good and have so much experience. They do not play at a level with other freshmen. They play in the JV schedule. And then sometimes they kind of scout them. If they're doing well in the JVs, they bring them up to the varsity. Really kind of an interesting feeder program, if you will, within their own system.
Whistle and some action on the line. And they're taking out another East St. Louis player. Keegan Blakemore, lineman, is out. Trenton Staton is in. It's the third time we've seen this today.
Sometimes it has to do with equipment.
Well, what's he missing?
Might be missing a mouthpiece. Could be missing a hip pad, a knee pad. That sounds trivial, but that's the case. Yeah. They're not supposed to be playing.
And the extra point. Good. So back to the Flyers by 20. East St. Louis has done everything they are expected to do today. Almost 300 total yards. They've held Geneva to 65. They've gotten the ball 4 times and they've scored 4 touchdowns.
Now that lineman that just came out, I saw the equipment man throw him 2 mouthpieces.
So it was the mouthpiece?
It was the mouthpiece.
So here's my question. The official on the far sideline is the one who came over.
He can see that as they go up in line of scrimmage.
Wow.
I mean, it's not as if he's focusing on that, but mouthpiece is supposed to be attached to the face guard.
Right.
And, he spotted that, obviously.
The drives for East St. Louis. Perfect. 4 for 4.
Amazing.
All they're missing is a couple mouthpieces.
Yeah. I mean, they have outstanding coaches at East St. Louis. Coach Sunkett has brought a good staff with him. They break down position-wise extremely well, and they recognize talent at a very young age, and they take advantage of it.
10 state championships all time. That is tied for the 3rd most in Illinois history. Taylor turns the corner down to the 35-yard line. Well, in case you missed it, we had an absolute thriller a couple of hours ago in the 5A state title game. Nazareth Academy, Joliet Catholic meeting in that title game for the 2nd straight season. And Logan Malachik put on an absolute show. Almost 400 yards passing, 4 touchdowns. This was a thriller of a game that came down to a 2-point conversion at the end of the 4th. But Nazareth over Joliet Catholic for its 3rd straight title. Yep, Finn Wepner was just dragged down. That's an easy pass interference call. That will go against East St. Louis, and they'll get Raheem Floyd.
Good call, and they're trying to go to one of their top receivers. Geneva's got good receivers if they get time to throw the football. But on the other hand, East St. Louis has some outstanding defensive backs, and they can run with any receiver that Geneva has. So it doesn't come down to speed, it comes down to route running.
There's the penalty. So 1st and 10, a yard from the 50. The bottom of your screen, speed demon Bennett Conkey, state qualifier in the 100-meter dash, and a strip sack. A strip sack. No one's got the ball yet, but they're going to call it incomplete. So it's an incomplete pass, and Wood just moves to 2nd down. The Flyer faithful are disgruntled.
It's kind of a bang-bang play right there. A lot of pressure on him. See, coming from the back side here, his blind side. It's hard to tell there whether or not that was an incomplete pass or a fumble. We'll go on the judgment of the officials. I think his arm was going back and coming a little bit forward.
Here's Romero right after that, and he plunges to the 41. It's enough for the 1st down.
See, that's actually what Cary Grove did last year. They ran at you. We talked about negating speed. You run right at it. If you run away from it, they're going to run you down. But if you run right at it, that negates their speed.
Right. So if a cheetah is chasing me, don't run away, run at it?
Run right back at it.
That's the guidance? Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. I've got an African safari next month, so.
Well, now you know. And if he catches you, just blame me.
Okay. It's on you, Jack. It's all in your hands. 1st and 10 at the 40. Chahino evades the pressure. Chahino skirts to the 35. A 5-yard loss into a 5-yard gain.
Well, you know, the thing is that he's a good runner. I mentioned earlier in the broadcast that he was a linebacker quarterback early in his career, so you know that he's not afraid to run with the ball. The difference between the two quarterbacks is this. When he runs with the ball or scrambles, he's looking at a defense that can run him down. When the Flyers scramble, Lions scrambles, there's really not anybody there with the speed that can run him down. So that's the comparison, and that's the difference.
And it's made a 20-point difference on the scoreboard. So a 2nd and 5 now, and Chahino airs it to Conkey. First touch for the speedster down the sideline to the 12. Sophomore Bennett Conkey, now over 500 yards on the season.
Now there's a good example of sitting in the pocket with the good arm strength. He delivers it quicker. Anytime he's looking further down the field, he's getting more pressure. If he only has to take basically a 3-step drop, he's got better time, and that negates the speed and the rush of East St. Louis.
Geneva knocking on the door of touchdown number 2. Romero can't find any wiggle room, and McClendon, the lead tackler. So this is the 3rd Geneva trip to the red zone. The first one was a disaster, a fumble and a turnover on downs. The second one led to a touchdown. The 3rd trip will set the tone for the rest of the game.
Well, this is the offensive lineman for Geneva. They've got to make a stand here, either in the run game or the pass game.
Chahino against a blitz, and that play is broken up.
Now, see, he got pressure immediately coming off the edge on that. And then it was just a good job of the defensive back breaking that up.
Floyd making up for the pass interference at the beginning of the possession. First to the ball.
Good defense right there.
Now Geneva with 4 wideouts for their 8th play of the drive. Talon Taylor lines up in the slot. Now in motion. Chahino against a blitz. The dump off. Romero, the touchdown. The Vikings not going anywhere.
Really a good play call right there. What they did is they sent the wide receiver in motion, which pulled the safety over, and then all of a sudden they had a linebacker that had to stay on the running back coming out of the backfield, and he wasn't able to do it because he had poor positioning. Good call, good throw. Watch the linebacker as they make the plays. Everybody's going to go to their left. Here comes the back out of the backfield. Linebacker can't get to cover him. That's the corner right there that let the wide receiver go. Good play design, good execution.
Two touchdowns against a defense that gives up 5.9 a game.
Well, that's why you're looking at Geneva being here. They're a good football team.
Their first state title game in 16 years. And the offense starting to do its part.
Good play call, good execution right there. Knowing that they were in man coverage, which meant that corner was going to go with the wide receiver, and the linebacker had to take that back coming out of the backfield. Good job. There's Coach Thorson. Pretty excited about going after them, and second half could be a different story. They keep the confidence level up here.
Thorgerson rallying his team through a grueling semifinal against Cary Grove. Squeaked by 2 points thanks to a 2-point conversion stop. Sort of a reminiscent finish to our first game of the day. Nazareth over Joliet Catholic. Thorgerson, the former Northern Illinois star quarterback, looking to become a first-time state champion. The kick for Hogden. The return on Miller. And Miller turns the corner at the 40. Miller like lightning. Oh, he is gone. Chris Miller for 6.
Boy, as confident as Geneva was on that last score, thinking they're going to go into halftime on a high note, all of a sudden, bingo. Special teams and speed are always going to be very difficult for anybody. Good setup of the return, but you can't handle that kind of speed.
84 yards to the house. Getting dapped up by everyone. To beat Darren Sunkett's team, you have to be perfect. All 3 phases.
Another flag. Could be a substitution issue.
Yeah, I don't see a flag, but there was a whistle. Officials get together. And now we hear from Hollis Clark. Or will we?
Dead ball, unsportsmanlike, on 76 of the kicking team. 15-yard penalty.
So it's an unsportsmanlike penalty against East St. Louis' Keegan Blakemore.
Number 79. 79
Nope.
of the kicking team.
It's Terrell Berryhill Jr.
What that is, he had to make a comment, obviously. Something was said. It wasn't unsportsmanlike. Does not have to be a physical contact or penalty. It can be a verbal penalty.
So a 30-yard kick for 1 point. We'll see what Reese Shanklin can do. And another whistle. And they're going to move the ball back.
They were short a couple of yards on that penalty.
I think they misspotted it. It was at the 15. Now it's at the 18. So it's actually now a 35-yard kick for the extra point. We saw Shanklin miss a much shorter extra point earlier. Let's see what he does from 35. And boom, got it.
There you go.
And Reese Shanklin going wild. His teammates are thrilled for him. So are his fans.
We might see a field goal later on in the ball game after that kick, because obviously his teammates hadn't seen that most of the year. For them to be that excited about it.
Yeah, coaches too. I mean, he is rising to the occasion, especially considering his day started with a short miss.
Yes, it was. Bring on the straight-on kickers. Bring them back.
Hey, it was good for 63 yards for Mr. Dempsey. And it works for Reese Shanklin.
I thought they were giving him the game ball there, the way he was running away with the football.
Look at the reaction. Woo! Bliss. Armad Sharp fired up for his kicker.
Maybe he hadn't done that too often in practice.
Well, I guess not. If they were used to it, why give him the Rudy treatment?
Well, that's true.
And Shanklin back to work on the kickoff. The 5th East St. Louis kickoff. because they've scored 5 touchdowns today. Talon Taylor from the 10. Taylor, patient to the 30. So East St. Louis, 34 points, 32 plays. So they're averaging more than a point a play.
That's efficiency.
Yeah.
I don't know where you're from. That's efficiency.
You'll never lose with numbers like that. Geneva's job is to make sure the second half's different. But it starts with the final 2:27 of the first half. So from the 30, Chahino, Romero, Taylor and company are back to work. Chahino, blitz picked up, pass complete. Finn Wepner, first down.
Well, they know that Taylor's, for the most part, being double teamed on most plays, so they go to the next best receiver, which is Finn Wepner. And he's come up with some good catches and single coverage with good routes. Nice target at 6'1".
Yeah, 3 catches, 71 yards. After the 13-yard gain, Coach Thorgerson watching as his team looks to sneak in a touchdown before halftime. At their own 45, Chahino to Taylor. This is where he's dangerous in open space, and Taylor squirms to the 32. Geneva is on the prowl.
Good quickness after the catch. Not only the speed, but the quickness. Good route right here. Good delivery of the football. You can see the out cut. Right there, you can see how quick he is.
That cut is so sharp. Now Chahino getting a new play with under 2 to go to halftime. And this time it's Wepner. So Wepner, Taylor, Wepner. Go to your best. The final college game for most of these guys, or final high school game rather, for most of these guys. Chahino was senior, so was Wepner, so was Taylor. Most of the offensive line. And Romero, the running back, also senior. Second and 4. To the end zone. That ball is caught.
Wow.
Bennett Conkey. A marvelous catch at the 1.
What a catch. What a throw to give him the opportunity to make that kind of catch. But gee whiz, what a great concentration.
That's a sophomore rising high for the 25-yard gain. And Geneva a yard from scoring again. Going to Romero. Romero is dragged down. Keandre McClendon was not allowing him end zone access. Let's take a look at the catch.
What a good throw here to give him the opportunity to make this catch. You can see how he looks away and then comes back. Still had double coverage, but wow, what a great concentration. Great delivery of the football. You can see him trying to help the official make the call. Double coverage, and he still makes that catch.
Next play is Romero rumbling to the line, and again the Flyers stymie him. 3rd and 1. 3rd and goal from the 1 will come next. Well, East St. Louis has only given up more than 20 points once this year. That was way back in September against Georgia-based Covington. QB sneak. Chahino is in. And Geneva strikes right back.
They needed that big time. Big time. We thought that the other score that they made was going to be a big score going into halftime. And then right back off the special teams, East St. Louis scores. But again now, this is going to be a big move here for Geneva to go into the halftime with the last touchdown. It's going to be very big psychologically for them.
In the month of November, Flyers have given up 14 points total entering this game. And in the first half, Geneva's put up 21. An inauspicious start for them, but hey, they've bounced back.
No, they really did. You can see Coach giving them a good attaboy.
This
They're
game could have gotten
here,
ugly.
Sam. You know, that says a lot for Geneva.
And to be in it against East St. Louis says a lot. East St. Louis will start with it in the second half, so they have this final 30 seconds plus first possession of the third quarter. The Geneva band, some smiles. Did you play back in the day? Anything?
No.
I was a tuba player. It was bigger than me.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Did you have somebody carry it for you?
Nope. That's how I got on my muscle. Here's Chris Bennett. One of the quickest. Already a touchdown for him. Geneva's first 3 drives, they got nothing. No points, just 17 yards. Since then, 3 touchdowns, nearly 200 yards, and nearly stolen onside kick there as Gomiller was able to fall on it.
That kind of surprises me a little bit. Might have saved that for a little later in the ball game, because right now, you know, they know kind of how you do an onside kick. But the other part of it was, look at the field position now that East St. Louis has. Only 20 seconds, but if you know 29 seconds, if you see how fast they can score, that's still a lot of time for them. It's about 3 or 4 plays.
They can score in a second. And, hey, we saw the range from Reese Shanklin, the kicker, 35-yard extra point. So hey, maybe get a big chunk play and kick it.
And the wind has kind of changed a wee bit now. It's kind of in his face if they were to do that, which I doubt it.
So here's East St. Louis with 29 seconds. They can score in a second.
I'm surprised that Geneva didn't squib kick that down the field.
Here goes Lyons. He's got nothing but space, directing traffic. He finds Bennett on a leaping grab. East St. Louis, 1 timeout. They don't want to use it yet. It's a first down, so stops the clock until the ball's spotted. Now at 1st and 10, the clock moves. Lyons from the 47. He heaves it. He's going for Bennett. And this ball is intercepted. Huge interception for Geneva's Dylan Reyes. Had that ball been thrown a little harder, would have been a touchdown.
Great coverage right there. No doubt about it. He was right on him. And this is why I was kind of surprised that Geneva did that kick rather than kind of pooch it down the field, squib it through there so that they would have a little trouble setting up any kind of a run back, and it would have taken some time off the clock once they touched it.
And that play had touchdown written all over it. And now near their own end zone, Geneva just goes with a knee. And a little momentum for these Vikings playing in their first title game since 2008 against mighty East St. Louis. Some momentum into the locker room. But the Flyers have been virtually perfect on offense. And thus 34 points at halftime as they look for state championship number 11. A really interesting first half. A lot of penalties a lot of scoring. And the 25th-year head coach for East St. Louis, Darren Sunkett, he's down in the field with Nicole.
Well, Coach, he's running away from me, guys. Got business to take care of this halftime. Coach, your first 4 possessions, touchdowns. When you're going to get your 5th, it's a kickoff for a return. Your offense looks great. What are you liking from them?
Well, I mean, offense, I mean, we're clicking right now. You know, I mean, we're executing everything we worked all week. And, we got to continue that the second half.
And speaking of that second half, you guys are coming out having to play some tough defense against them. You shut them out in the first quarter, but they were able to put 21 up on you in the second quarter. What adjustments do you need to make there?
We're going to figure that out when we get there. Right now we're not getting any pressure on the quarterback. We're committing too many penalties, giving them first downs on pass interference and things like that. So we just got to correct that stuff the second half, and, we got to play a little stiffer defense.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks.
All right, we'll send it over to the studios in Chicago, guys.
All right, Nicole, thank you very much. Halftime in the 6A state title game. It is all East St. Louis. Well, not all East St. Louis, but a lot of it is East St. Louis, along with Edgy, Tim O'Halloran. I'm Marshall Harris, here to guide you through what went wrong, what went right. And let's start with the fact that every time East St. Louis got the ball until that last drive, they scored.
Yeah, it's East St. Louis obviously executing, in Geneva just not being able to get stops. And we saw at the very end of the quarter there, in the second quarter with the interception, to basically end the quarter. You need to do that. You need to continue. If you get a handful of stops here, your offense obviously got on track in the second quarter. You're going to make this a game, but you got to find ways to get stops against a very good East St. Louis offense.
Positive news for the Vikings in this game. Up through 13 games, the most points that they had given up all season for East St. Louis, 21. They've got 21 points at the half. When we come back, we'll show you the highlights of what went down, including an amazing run back for a touchdown off of a kickoff. That's when we continue with the halftime show here on the IHSA television network.
Want a great career? Join the Carpenters Union and be part of the next generation building our communities. With the Carpenters Union Career Connections program, high school students get a head start on the industry's leading curriculum. Learn the latest in construction technology and the many skilled crafts the Carpenters Union represents. Plus, earn as you learn. Receive a nice paycheck, health insurance benefits, and best of all, no college debt. Ask your school district to participate in the Career Connections program and get started on your future.
You know what it's like to watch a winning team. Now it's your turn to be a part of one. The Illinois State Police is recruiting for our next cadet classes, and you could be our MVP. Protect the public, help those in need, and make a lasting impact in your community. Our mission, your future, higher purpose, higher pay. Starting pay is at $90,000 with incredible benefits package, including a take-home squad car, tuition reimbursement, paid leave, and more. Join the team that makes a difference. Apply today at IllinoisTrooper.com.
Epic Black Friday deals at Menards are back. Pick up this 12-volt cordless drill kit for only $9.99. Get a dual-head LED work light with tripod for just $14.99. Secure big savings on a 4-pack ratchet strap set, now just $4.97. Or snag these giant 54-inch snow tubes for only $9.99 each. Hurry in for best selection. Don't miss out. These deals won't last long.
Save big money at Menards.
Imagine going from the classroom to the big stage.
This territory, this place, our home, isn't just for learning, but for understanding the very power of what imagination actually means.
A place where you can go from player to coach, from the ground to the sky.
So close your eyes, envision the roar that is a spirit of thousands of Salukis. Capture this moment and go forward together.
IHSA, committed to keeping student-athletes safe. Through educational initiatives and national partnerships, we're going the distance to develop safer protocols for our teams. Plus, we continue to improve scheduling and conditioning to reduce injuries from preseason through each state championship. 31 sports, 350,000 student-athletes, and one goal, player safety. The IHSA, the future plays here.
Halftime of the 6A state title game here on the IHSA Television Network, along with Edgy Tim O'Halloran. I'm Marshall Harris. Let's talk about East St. Louis in this 34-21 lead. Certainly a dominant performance on offense as they were doing whatever they wanted for the majority of that first half.
It's up front. You heard Coach Jack. It's exactly it. It's up front. It's the size and the strength of East St. Louis up front versus a very active and quick Geneva front. But, you know, we talked about physics in the first round of games yesterday. Physics is really hard to overcome sometimes. It's been a big key and a big part of this game for East St. Louis.
As I said, the Flyers, they have been flying up and down the field, but I can show you better than I can tell you. Let's take a look at the highlights of what exactly happened in that first half. Into the first quarter, East St. Louis already up 6-0. Kendrick Lyons off the play action. Ronnie Go-Miller in the end zone.
Again, just a really tough young man to cover one-on-one.
8 minutes left in the second quarter. Now it's 20-0, but here's Anthony Chihino finding Talon Taylor in the corner.
That got things rolling a little bit offensively for Geneva, no question.
All right, so it's 20-7, 5 minutes left. Kendrick Lyons going to evade the sack, and he's not done there. The only thing that trips him up here is the turf monster.
Yep, just could not get past that old turf monster.
To Ryan Martin, no issues with the turf or anything else. East goes up 27-7 now. Geneva would score, cut it to 27-14, under 3 minutes left in the half, but then it's Chris Bennett Jr. picking up blocks like a toddler in preschool, and he didn't need very many.
Chris has been doing this for the last couple of years, and again, just talking about a kid that's so explosive, that's Chris Bennett Jr., no question.
84 yards on that kickoff return. Another touchdown would come the way of Geneva, 34-21. So if you're East St. Louis, you heard the head coach talking about it going into halftime. What do you want to see after giving up a season-high tying 21 points just in the first half?
He mentioned pressure, certainly defensively, getting more pressure on Geneva and Tony Chihino. They definitely did that in the first quarter, not so much in the second quarter. So I think that's going to be an adjustment for the Flyers offensively. Just keep doing what you're doing.
And if you're Geneva, you're looking at exactly how this game has gone. The big negative in terms of them being able to finish off drives at the rate that East St. Louis has been doing it, you're not going to do that when you have just -1 yard rushing for an entire half.
Yeah, you need to get something figured out there. And again, you're going to trade scores. You're going to have to trade punch for punch here in the second half. So you better come out, get a stop right away, and get after it offensively.
East St. Louis gets the ball to start the first half. How important will that first drive be for Geneva?
It's always big, but especially for Geneva, no question about it. You need to get something going right out of the gate.
All right, so we'll see exactly what the second half has to offer between Geneva, East St. Louis. Remember, the Vikings, they're going for their first ever state title. Meanwhile, the 5th straight title game for the Flyers. They've won 2 out of the last 4. We'll get you more halftime information, including some stats on the other way as we continue with halftime here on the IHSA Television Network.
The IHSA Football State Championships are brought to you in part by Ashley, style begins at home. IBEW Local 134, building careers, building the future. Northern Illinois University, where your future is our focus. Visit niu.edu. Chicago Roofing Contractors Association, Chicagoland's best value, best roofs all year long. And Local 17 Heat and Frost Insulators. Energy is your #1 cost.
Ashley's Black Friday deals continue this weekend. Today through Monday, shop incredible doorbusters starting at just $1.99. Plus, take 25% off your entire purchase. The best Black Friday furniture deals are only at Ashley.
On behalf of our 12,000 members, I want to congratulate all the athletes in today's competition. I am Don Finn, the business manager of IBEW Local 134, representing the unionized electricians of Chicago and Cook County. Local 134 offers you more than just a job. It offers you a career. Our future is brighter than ever. From building solar fields to constructing data centers to shaping Chicago's skyline. Join the most diverse workforce in the building trades. Building careers, building the future. IBEW Local 134.
Tired of the same old routine? Ready for a career that's always changing? In the roofing trades, every day is a new adventure. Learn a skilled trade, earn competitive wages, enjoy great benefits and solid opportunities for career advancement. With starting wages and benefits above $50 per hour, you can earn while you learn. So, are you ready to climb to new heights? Learn and join the roofing trades today.
Ashley's Black Friday deals continue this weekend. Now through Monday, shop incredible doorbusters starting at just $1.99. Plus, get the best prices on Ashley products guaranteed. The best Black Friday furniture deals are only at Ashley.
Yes, it is halftime here for the 6A state title game. Right now, it's East St. Louis with a commanding 34-21 lead against Geneva. That's what's going on right now. We'll get you back out to halftime in a moment, but there are other games that need to be played. We already had a thriller in the first game, a 5A game, which went down to the wire, just a 2-point win. Another team looking to go bigger and better this year, Mount Carmel, back where they usually are, and they're going up against a Batavia team that would just like some measure of revenge. They've had their season ended by Mount Carmel each of the last 4 seasons, Edgy.
And 3 of the 4 have not been pretty, not whatsoever. They've been kind of ugly, and I think what it really intrigues me about this ball game is what adjustments can Batavia make to maybe try to slow down Jack Elliott from Mount Carmel. I mean, he is who the offense runs through. He's been absolutely dynamic again this year. You got to find a way to slow him down or to try to take him out of the game a little bit as far as him being able to break runs as well as with his arm. Easier said than done. So, again, I think the adjustment and the X and O's here will be really interesting to watch to see how each adjusts to the other. So it should be an interesting part of that game.
With Mount Carmel, we're talking about tradition on tradition on tradition. What is it that makes them so tough year in and year out that carries over?
You know, I think it's that history, that tradition. It's something that there's a ton of pride at Mount Carmel about. And, oh, yeah, the talent, too. This is a different Mount Carmel team this year. This is a younger team. But, Marshall, I'm telling you, talent level-wise, they might be as good as they've had in a long time, from the underclassmen, some sophomores starting all the way up. Really talented team.
All right, Mount Carmel trying to become the 3rd team today to have a chance to go back-to-back. We already saw it in that first game, the 5A game that I mentioned. It was Nazareth Academy winning its 3rd straight title. That was a big one. And now we're looking at also in that 8A contest a chance for Loyola to do the same.
Yeah, and again, you know, early in the year it was a 1-2 start for the Ramblers, and everyone thought, oh, no, what's wrong with Loyola? Nothing's wrong with Loyola. They're doing just fine. You're getting an idea, if you're watching this game with East St. Louis, how they were able to beat Loyola in week 1. A lot of speed, a lot of quickness. But believe me, I think Loyola is going to be just fine in this championship game. Should be a good matchup with York.
Speaking of just fine, so far it's been just fine for the Flyers of East St. Louis. They've been able to answer every time that the opponent has tried to put them down. Plays like this from Chris Bennett Jr., taking it 84 yards to the house after a score by Geneva. That set the tone. We'll get you back out to the second half in just a moment here on the IHSA Television Network.
Attention high school students. If you're tired of hearing the same old college debt story, we've got an exciting alternative for you. Join the Mid-America Carpenters Union and let your career dreams take flight. You can earn great pay, enjoy no-cost health insurance, and secure a stable retirement, all with no college debt and an elite career that's here to stay. It's time to build your future your way. Ready to carve your path to success? Contact the Mid-America Carpenters Union today to learn how you can unleash your potential.
You know what it's like to watch a winning team. Now it's your turn to be a part of one. The Illinois State Police is recruiting for our next cadet classes, and you could be our MVP. Protect the public, help those in need, and make a lasting impact in your community. Our mission, your future, higher purpose, higher pay. Starting pay is at $90,000 with incredible benefits package, including a take-home squad car, tuition reimbursement, paid leave, and more. Join the team that makes a difference. Apply today at IllinoisTrooper.com.
Imagine going from the classroom to the big stage.
This territory, this place, our home, isn't just for learning, but for understanding the very power of what imagination actually means.
A place where you can go from player to coach, from the ground to the sky.
So close your eyes, envision the roar that is a spirit of thousands of Salukis. Capture this moment and go forward together.
It's East St. Louis up 34-21 at halftime over Geneva, as we'll get you back out to the kickoff of the second half in just a moment. Until then, Edgy Tim O'Halloran, I'm Marshall Harris, and we're talking about Anthony Chihino. Maybe it all lies on his arm because they haven't been able to do it on the ground, but there's a chance here that they might be able to get it done through the air. He's already got 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, it's, you know, he's been phenomenal. He's been one of the keys to Geneva all year, his ability to just throw the ball all over the field and get it to receivers. It's a good core of receivers. You see him, Finn Wepner, and a couple of these other kids. It's much more than Talon Taylor, but boy, you want to get him, Talon Taylor, involved and get these other guys going offensively, keep up that pressure.
Meanwhile, for East St. Louis, it's been that rushing game that's kind of powered them through this. 166 yards on the ground, and it's only halftime. Meanwhile, a little bit of offense from the ground. If you're Anthony Chang, just call your own number. Get into the end zone. That's how they've been able to stay within 13. Second half kickoff coming up on the other side.
Ashley's Black Friday deals continue this weekend. Today through Monday, shop incredible doorbusters starting at just $1.99. Plus, take 25% off your entire purchase. The best Black Friday furniture deals are only at Ashley.
Is college not what you thought it was going to be? Here's an opportunity to work with your hands as well as your mind. Learn how to insulate mechanical systems in the industrial and commercial industries. With the Heat and Frost Insulators Local 17, you get to earn while you learn through our apprenticeship program. After 5 years, you'll finish with no debt, money in the bank, and you'll be on your way towards a pension. Scan the QR code and apply today, or visit our website to learn more.
Drive into 2025 with confidence in a vehicle designed to turn heads. Premium comfort, bold design, and 2 years of limited maintenance included. Plus, with our industry-leading warranty, you're covered for the road ahead. During Mitsubishi's year-end sales event, drive home a 2024 SUV with 0.99% APR. Visit your local Chicago area Mitsubishi retailers today.
All right, let's go. I'll shop for the kids, and you get something for the dog.
Sounds good. Let's do this.
Whether you're shopping for gifts or something for yourself,
Don't forget toys for the dog.
rush in for Black Friday deals at Menards that everyone will love. Because when they're gone, they're gone.
Save big money at Menards.
Ashley's Black Friday deals continue this weekend. Now through Monday, shop incredible doorbusters starting at just $1.99. Plus, get the best prices on Ashley products guaranteed. The best Black Friday furniture deals are only at Ashley.
All right, standing by with Coach Thorgerson here. You guys put up 21 points in that second quarter after being blanked in the first. How do you keep that momentum going into that second half?
Yeah, we got to just keep in rhythm. We got out of rhythm there that first quarter. Once we get in rhythm, we're pretty good offense. You know, they're very good defense, obviously. So we just got to find what we like, get the ball out quick, and, make plays.
Well, you start off on defense to kick off the third quarter. 34 points on the board for them. They scored on 5 of their 6 opportunities. What's the key to shutting them down?
Just got to play our defense, make tackles when they're there. We're kind of diving a little bit. We got to wrap up, drive through. They're shifty, so we got to drive, gang tackle, and hopefully get a stop here, get the ball back, and make this a game.
It's been a great battle. Excited to see the second half. Good luck.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, Sam, back to you.
Thanks, Nicole. So good news is second half is here. Jack McInerney, Sam Brief with you. And Jack, looking back at that first quarter, it was really all East St. Louis, maybe what they expected.
Well, you're right, Sam. I think it's what they expected, but we're looking at 2 different teams here.
Early on, it was Fresh Woods with a score. Ronnie Gomiller with a score. It was 13-0 East St. Louis in a flash. But wait, second quarter, 3 Geneva touchdowns. We saw Chahino going everywhere.
Well, just as Coach mentioned, I think we've seen 2 different Geneva teams. That first quarter, they really were stagnant. Second quarter, they've been unbelievable with 21 points.
And then a near touchdown at the end of that second quarter, but ripped away. The interception by Dylan Reyes is our defensive play of the game, which is brought to you by Union Carpenters and Contractors, partners in building communities and supporting working families. So, it's a game. 13 points at halftime. East St. Louis will start with the ball to start the second half. And Jack, I know you've been so impressed by their dual threat stud quarterback, Kendrick Lyons.
He really is. I mean, he's a quarterback that you can build obviously an offense around, which East St. Louis has done, but you put him on other offenses, and the key is he's got a great arm, but I just love the way he runs with the football, keeps plays alive. Very smart quarterback, looks downfield, doesn't force the ball, has excellent poise in the pocket before he starts scrambling.
First half numbers for Lions, 10 of 15, 118 yards and a touchdown, plus 4 carries, 54 yards.
You know how we mentioned that Geneva was two different teams. That first quarter, they gained 8 yards. Second quarter, they had 178 yards, averaged 8 yards a carry, 11 first downs, and 21 points. So you talk about a Jekyll and Hyde. They were two different teams in those first 2 quarters.
Right, icy start, fiery close to the first half. And for Geneva, it's been all through the air. They have 186 passing yards, -1 on the ground.
Well, you know, it's really tough to make adjustments at halftime for speed. You can make adjustments for routes. You can make adjustments for defensive looks you're getting, but it's tough to make adjustments for speed.
And East St. Louis has speed in droves. It starts with their quarterback, who hands to Bennett. Bennett on the jet sweep to the 37. A 9-yard gain on first down.
That actually was a nice job by the corner coming up to turn that ball up inside. But the problem is, what do? You let him run outside and get 8 or 10 yards. You let him turn up inside and get 8 or 10 yards. He did a nice job. The corner coming up, back turns it up inside, still picks up 8 yards.
We've seen Bennett on quite a few of those end arounds. 4 carries and 48 yards for the wideout. Here's Lyons on second and very short. Before the handoff, a flag. They've been flying today. This is penalty number 12 of the game.
On number 1 of the offense. That's a 5-yard penalty.
So the false start is the 10th penalty for 96 yards for East St. Louis.
Most teams couldn't make up those mistakes as far as yardage. But East St. Louis, because they have big play potential, are able to do that. And it's not certainly that they want to do it, but they have to do it.
We heard Coach Sunkett speaking with Nicole Sedevy before halftime, said, hey, we've made some penalties, too many. We got to clean that up. Here's Martin. He finds Miller in traffic, and then he's thrown down at the 35.
Well, they can keep those players in front of them with those pass plays rather than behind them. They're going to be in this ball game. But anytime you let those receivers get behind you, you're in trouble.
And these receivers are so dangerous. Ronnie Gomiller, Chris Bennett, LaRon Baker. Here's Gomiller and Bennett. And 3rd and 1. Flyers were 2 of 3 on 3rd down conversions in the first half. Going right to Martin. He's got the first easily. Shakes off 2 tacklers. And then rips forward to the 39. 23-yard gain for the senior tailback.
And there's a play where he looks like he bounces it to the outside, and there's a missed tackle. There's the tackle right there. A little bit of a stiff arm. Just a great quickness and speed that he has to turn it into a first down. That's what I'm talking about. They have 90-some yards in penalty, but they can make up for that stuff with their speed. Most teams can't do that.
And into Viking territory. The end around again. It's Bennett shuffling his feet, storming to the first down. Whole lot more inside the 20. In the first half, 6 possessions led to 5 touchdowns for East St. Louis. Looking to stay almost perfect.
They're a team that really knows how to score. They know how to move the football. Great quickness. I love how You know, oftentimes you talk about speed. Well, speed is a straightaway object, but when you talk about quickness, you're talking about the feet and how quick they can jump step, how they can dodge, do those kind of things. And East St. Louis has both speed and quickness.
They're perfect in the red zone today. And then Woods just stumbles forward for about 2, tackled by Vitia.
Geneva has certain times when they look like they're going to stop him, and then all of a sudden, they're gone down the field for a first down.
Feels like Geneva's got to do everything just right, because East St. Louis can erase mistakes in a flash. The veteran defense, you saw Gavin Burt, Sean Lane. They're inside linebackers. And right past them all goes Woods to the 10.
Well, if you just watch Woods right there, he did no dancing. As soon as he got that ball, he was exploding. He was going full speed when he hit that line of scrimmage. There was no reads, no dancing, nothing. It was just blow up in there, and that's exactly what he did. Sometimes you get these backs, they have great speed, but they don't get to the line of scrimmage or downfield because they do too much dancing looking for the open spot. A lot of these kids with great speed, like he did, he just blows up in there and it creates spots for himself.
0 to 100 in a half second. 3rd and 2. A little too much dancing that time for Woods. And he's driven down by Burt. So a 3rd down failure. That's Geneva's 4th tackle for loss as a flag comes flying.
Good penetration right here to make this tackle, but we have a flag on it.
We saw Ahmad Sharp, the junior wideout, lost his helmet, and then he was getting into it with some of the Geneva players.
Right on number 10. That's a 15-yard
And now he gets tagged for an unsportsmanlike. Penalty number 11 on East St. Louis. They have committed more than a football field worth of penalties. 106 yards.
Well, as outstanding a football team as they are, with all the different skill people, they're very undisciplined from this standpoint of penalties. You should never have that many penalties in a ball game. And there's no other way to say it. I mean, it's undisciplined. They had them last year in the state championship game.
And that was a loss.
Yeah, and they just had a lot of penalties, silly penalties.
So now 4th and forever. Lions drops it. And he lost it. Geneva's on the ball. Wow. It's a turnover on downs. Lex Griffith able to rip it from Lions.
Can they convert now after this turnover? That's going to be the crucial aspect of it for Geneva if they're going to get in this ball game. They got decent field position with that turnover, but can they function as an offense and see what happens here as far as this drive is concerned?
Momentum with Geneva. Now they need a score. Make this fumble worth it.
Tomorrow, I'll be making a difference in the classroom. Tonight, I'll be making memories with the dance team.
I'm expressing myself with my poetry and with my hands.
I'm providing for my patients and for my community.
At NIU, you'll go places as unique as you, with the resources and support to get you there. Join us and start writing your story today.
On behalf of our 12,000 members, I want to congratulate all the athletes in today's competition. I am Don Finn, the business manager of IBEW Local 134, representing the unionized electricians of Chicago and Cook County. Local 134 offers you more than just a job. It offers you a career. Our future is brighter than ever. From building solar fields to constructing data centers to shaping Chicago's skyline. Join the most diverse workforce in the building trades. Building careers, building the future. IBEW Local 134.
East St. Louis by 13 in the 6A state title game. But momentum, it's with Geneva right now after a fumble, 4th down stop. They've got it. So we're celebrating the 50th anniversary of the Illinois State Championship, which took place in the same stadium in 1974. And all the champions from that year, including a team in Glenbrook North that won the 5A title over East St. Louis, a team that featured Kellen Winslow.
A lot of history. A lot of history. Down in the stadium, too. That was regular grass at that time.
Now on the turf, Chahino to Taylor to open Geneva's second half. And Taylor dances, spins across the 50 for a first down.
He could be the difference in this ball game bet right here for Geneva if they can get him the football. I mean, he certainly is a big play man for them.
A gain of 17 on the hookup from Chahino to Taylor. That first quarter, you mentioned it, Jack, it was a disaster. Since then, this offense has flourished.
Completely different team in the second quarter.
Chahino. Flush to his right. He's got green turf in front of him. And Chahino to the 20. He can run, too.
He's a tough young man. He was a linebacker, as we mentioned earlier, a linebacker and a running back. Now he's a quarterback, first time doing it. But you can see the reason for this long run is East St. Louis was in man coverage, so that defensive back never saw him scrambling. He was watching the defender. That's what can happen with man coverage if you have a scrambling quarterback.
After 33 yards in 2 plays, it's a 1st and 10 at the 27. Chahino dancing around. Chahino to the end zone. Touchdown, Geneva. Finn Wepner again.
And that was a great route by Wepner, because what he was originally on a post route. He saw that Chahino was scrambling, so he went through the scramble drill. When Chahino scrambled to his right, he broke off his route and came back sideways and to the right. And that's exactly what you got to do to break up that coverage. Excellent coaching and a great job by those receivers and quarterback to make that happen. Watch, he scrambles here. Then you're going to see at the top of your screen, all of a sudden he comes across to help out. Touchdown.
And to tack on the extra point, Hogden makes it a 6-point game.
We got a ball game.
Against mighty East St. Louis, the Geneva Vikings are here to play.
Every year, the Whiffles family celebrates the season the best way they know how. And every year, they add a little something new. After all this time, you'd think all that extra work put into every last detail would get old. Well, think again. Whiffles Hybrids. Season's greetings from our U.S. farm family to yours.
We're going to need more fuel. A renewable way to get that fuel instead of relying on foreign countries for petroleum, we can just grow our own fuel. Our fields are literally full of energy.
A 3-play drive goes 61 yards in 23 seconds to make it a 1-possession game in the 6A state title game. Well, that's coming after an instant classic in the 5A final. 2-point conversion stop gave Nazareth its 3rd straight state title. Jack, this day's a lot more thrilling than yesterday.
It certainly is. We're still getting a lot of points on the board. but we're getting the points by both teams rather than yesterday with just one team putting the points up on the board.
Yesterday, the average margin of victory was 41 points. Today, razor thin. Let's hope that continues later tonight. And right now, Geneva, looking for its first state championship, is within a possession of a team that's owned 6A football in Illinois with 2 state titles in 4 years. East St. Louis kind of need a score right now.
Kind of surprised how, unless I don't know for sure that Geneva can kick it deep enough. There's a couple reasons why you don't. You don't want them obviously to set up the return wall, either one side or the other, a middle return, or get those guys going full speed with that ball. So that's why they're more or less pooching it down there. But they're giving East St. Louis kind of this decent field position.
1st and 10 at the 30 for Lions. Offense has come up empty on their last 2 trips. Last one marred by penalties. Hand off, Tillman. Tillman with a burst of speed across the left end. Down to the 36, but a flag again.
We could get some holding out there on that call, because that wide receiver was holding up that defender for an awful long time.
Already 2 holds on wide receivers today.
Holding number 12.
Yep.
And that is against a receiver, Cortez Rupert,
Repeat first down.
tagged for the hold.
Now, in defense of the wide receiver, that is probably a tougher block than any of the offensive linemen have, because you have to sustain that block in the open field, and that defender's trying to get around you. You can see it right here to the right of your screen. He's just grabbing onto his arm and holding him. It's just really a tough block. You'll find holding more often with the outside wide receivers as often sometimes as you find with the offensive linemen.
On 1st and 14, the Lions running for his life, and he can't outrun the Vikings. Troy Velez, Lex Griffith team up for the sack.
Geneva's getting after that second quarter. They're starting to think, we can play with these guys. Good pressure right there. Nice job of coming up and making the play. I mean, you can't let that quarterback get out to the edges or you're going to get hurt. Keep him in the pocket where he can't scramble.
So a penalty and a sack equals 2nd and 21. And Lions goes to the middle to Go Miller. And Ronnie Go Miller loses everyone to the 10, to the end zone. The Flyers are just too fast.
Well, I'm sure a lot of people that saw that they had 17 yards to go for a first down. A lot of people also sitting there saying that's no big deal to East St. Louis. They get a slant route, and the speed just outruns everybody in that secondary. Good throw, good catch.
81 yards to the house. Just when everything was going Geneva's way, the Flyers just fly to the end zone. Shanklin on for the extra point. His last one was from 35. This one's a bit easier. And makes it a 13-point game. The slant from Lions to Go Miller. Picture perfect.
Coming right over the middle, right here, right under the safety and over the top of that linebacker. Then once you get the ball, you can throw that past 5 yards and it turns into an 85-yard touchdown run. Most teams that wouldn't happen, but with East St. Louis and the speed that they have, that's going to happen. Just an excellent delivery of the football to a receiver that you know can make a big play, and he comes through with a big play.
5 catches, 128 yards, 2 touchdowns for Ronnie Go Miller. And Jack, I know you love the rack, the yak, yardage after the catch. The receivers for East St. Louis, they have 111 yards after the catch today.
Well, you know, most of their routes are in the open. What I mean by that is they're not sideline routes. You know, you don't break it 10 yards and get to the sideline. Their routes are slant routes, post routes, where you catch the ball on the run, not going out of bounds, and you get a chance to run with the football, and that's exactly what they do. Get them the ball and let them run with it.
They've got the athletes to do it, and those athletes, 41 points through 2.5 quarters. On a deep kickoff, here's Talon Taylor from the 4. Taylor out to the 24 with a hard hit. And Geneva's offense goes back to work. It's an uphill battle, but this offense has really been cruising since the first quarter. What Tony Chahino and company have done is really impressive.
Well, you know, it's kind of interesting. Geneva, you talk about it's work for them. I mean, they got to really work at sustaining drives. East St. Louis, it almost seems like more fun because they just get the ball in space and let somebody run with it. I mean, it's just kind of a conflict or a look at a different type of offense and different types of athletes.
So back to work. And Chahino is taken down right away. A big sack on the first play of the possession for Carnell McIntosh.
In this kind of a game, you got to make sure as a quarterback that when you're scrambling, especially against East St. Louis, you got to worry about your backside. He's taking too much time here to deliver the football, and that's only going to result in a sack. There's no two ways about it. You've got to get rid of the football.
A loss of 8. So 2nd and 18 for Chahino and company.
They can't afford it. East St. Louis could overcome that like they did on the touchdown.
3 receivers to his right. Chahino flush to his right. Hanging in there. Chahino hurls it deep downfield. He's got Conkey, but incomplete, and a flag follows the play.
I think he was held going down there.
On a day marred by 12 East St. Louis penalties, number 13 could give some life to the Vikings. It's offensive pass interference.
Interesting.
So it's against Conkey, and it moves the Vikings back towards their end zone.
On this side here with East St. Louis, the fans here are very thrilled that the penalty went against somebody else. Is he pushing off?
Yep.
I guess he did.
I saw that left arm.
Yeah. Good call.
Jostling for position with Sledge.
East St. Louis, we got 10 players on the field. They had to use a timeout.
No, I think he's saying he wants to decline the penalty. Yeah, that was
okay,
Darren
I saw
Stunke came on the field saying,
out there. That's what I
want
was
to decline.
They were short of.
Lewis has decided to take the results of the play, so he'll be declining the penalty. It'll be 3rd down.
Right, so electing, I'd rather have a 3rd and medium rather than a 2nd and long.
Right.
Or it's really still a 3rd. It's a 3rd and long versus a 2nd and very long. 3rd and 18. Chahino evades the pressure. Now here comes more. Chahino's running. Chahino's got nothing. He dumps it off to a lineman. Can't do that. That's going to be a penalty right away. Nicholas Elliott, the right tackle. Can't make a catch, but human instinct, I guess.
Hey, 20-year reunion. That'll be about a 45-yard reception.
With no flag,
every year,
right?
You add about 20 yards to that reception. And he'll come off the field telling Coach, why am I wearing 57? Why am I not wearing 87?
He'll say, look, Coach, I grabbed the ball. 2 hands.
That could be a tight end.
Illegal touching on number 57 of the offense. That's a 5-yard penalty, which includes a loss of down. So to be 4th down.
So 4th down. Yeah, I feel bad for the offensive lineman. I mean, I would like to catch this ball too, but can't do it.
And the reaction. You know, it's a great reaction by him. He just catches the ball. You threw it to me.
His quarterback was running for his life. And now a Geneva punt. But Chihino was 8 for 8 before his last 2 incompletions. And Hogden with a really short kick. This will help East St. Louis.
Turf bounce.
As it rolls to the 45. So golden field position for an offense that's so quick and so good that they don't even need it. Punt of 35 yards. Hey, Ronnie Gomiller has been super impressive today. 5 catches, 128 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Let's take a look at some of his highlights.
Just a great throw right there in a slant route. Goes up and gets it. A good delivery by Lyons, putting the ball right on the money. But here's what you want to do. You want to get the ball to them on the open field. Let them run. And that's exactly what happens. When you have athletes that have that kind of speed, give them the ball and let them run.
Let Gomiller go. Lyons somehow gets out of that. Lyons evades another man, but third time's the charm for Geneva as he's finally driven down by Griffith.
That's a secondary sack right there. The defensive backs for Geneva did a nice job of covering those receivers. And the other part of it is that was really difficult coverage, because when you're scrambling like that, you have to have great discipline in the backfield to make sure that he doesn't get wide open with receivers.
A loss of 9 on this sack. And Griffith came flying in.
That's one way of
defense on
defending him.
Gomiller. A little tug, never hurt.
See, this is good discipline by the defensive back. Sometimes you'll find guys that are looking so long there, they lose complete sight of where their defender is.
Screen to Miller. He's got speed and stretches out to the 41.
Pretty close. Gets
Right
back a lot of
near.
yardage there.
Right near the first down. Line to gain was the 41, so. Or rather, the 36, so it's a 3rd and 5. Bennett stays in. So does Gomiller. And so does Sharp. All the weapons at Kendrick Lyons' disposal for a big 3rd down. There's that jet sweep for Miller. Miller finds the corner, turns the corner, and it's a 1st down. Well, how impressive has Chris Bennett been on those jet sweeps?
Well, no matter how well you defend it, I mean, he's coming right at the short side of the field. They're turning him in, they're trying to, but they just can't keep up with him. I mean, they're trying to string it out as well as they can, but he ends up picking up a 1st down.
So smooth for Coach Sunkett. 7 yards a run today for East St. Louis. Hence the 41 points. Here they go to the air, and wide open. Did he stay in bounds? LaRon Baker did not, they say. Makes the catch, but on the white.
Good throw and catch, except it wasn't in bounds.
Let's study. The catch.
Good call by the officials. Good call.
We've had 2 close plays actually in that same corner, and they've nailed both calls.
And that actually is the receiver's fault, because he should not be coming that close to the sideline. He's got, especially when it's just man coverage, he's got room to work. He should be on the numbers with the quarterback getting the opportunity to throw the ball towards the sideline.
On 2nd down, Laravius Woods rumbles into the end zone. His 3rd of the day.
What a run.
31-yard touchdown.
That's just a great effort right there. Speed didn't have anything to do with that for the most part. It was just determination and strength. That and a combination of some poor tackling.
Fresh Woods today.
Good
Super
cut back
fresh.
there. Yep. Boy, he looks good. Outstanding run.
Dragging tacklers with him. And now Shanklin to look to make it a 20-point lead. Yes, sir. So East St. Louis reminds everyone who the class of 6A football is, with a couple phenomenal drives. These skill players, the speed, hard to stop.
Well, you know, anybody will tell you East St. Louis can play with anybody. It doesn't make any difference if it's 6A, 7, or 8A. They can play with anybody. They've got great talent, excellent coaching. And part of this is, I really believe this, that the concept of how they bring up their young players, that a concept about recognizing them in 8th grade, and then as they come in as freshmen, having them play on the JV, getting their early experience, learn the routine of the offenses and defense and all those kind of things, and then also to learn the chemistry of the other players and getting into the program that early. I think it's a very interesting concept. I don't think all schools could do it that way because they have larger numbers, and a lot of conferences wouldn't allow them not to play a freshman schedule, but very interesting concept.
If you're a freshman, you play JV, you learn more, you get bigger, you get stronger, you get smarter, and it pays off in games like this. Taylor from the 10. Taylor's got no blockers in front of him. Able to get to the 17.
Ooh, that official went
and the
down.
official got taken out. Now helped up by Phillip White.
Ooh.
Certainly hoping he's all right. Took a hard hit. Inadvertent. Looks to be all right. Oh, he's smiling, he's laughing. I see a smile. I know you're good. Okay, 2 scoring drives in this half for East St. Louis have gone 3 minutes, 9 seconds combined. They score in a hurry.
Talk about big explosive plays. That's it right there with that statistic.
Geneva needs a score. And here's a whistle, and is this a sideline issue? Oh, there's a player down. Player down at the 42 for East St. Louis. That's one of their DBs, Melvin Sledge. They were about to start the play, and someone spotted Sledge and stopped the action.
That's scary to think that he was laying there and nobody saw him.
Someone said, hold up. Now the offensive brain trust comes together for Geneva. A little more of a slog in this second half. How do you attack East St. Louis right now?
Well, they've been more efficient when they're able to sprint out than they are sitting in the pocket because the pressure's been so immediate on him. He has an opportunity to get up, but when he sprints out, he's got to get rid of the ball a little sooner because they're actually running him down from the backside. And he's got decent speed. I mean, he's a good scrambling quarterback. He's not the same type of quarterback as Kendrick Lyons, but he's also a very good athlete and can make things happen, but he's got to get rid of the football a little quicker.
Yeah, Shahino today has amassed 7 carries, 1 touchdown, in addition to the 230 yards in the air. And Sledge, see him holding his chest, maybe got the wind knocked out, maybe ribs. Training staff will check on him. Destiny Grove, the Flyers athletic trainer.
Those are some unsung heroes of football programs, the trainers. Do a great job with these athletes.
Oh, absolutely. Especially in these frigid conditions as Shahino lets it fly to the far sideline, incomplete. Pascoli intended wide out. A little glimmer of sun coming through.
I don't think it's enough sun to warm you up.
No, it's cold down there. Feels like temperature hovering around 9 degrees.
I've been impressed with your weather forecast throughout the day.
Well, the iPhone weather app is an amazing thing. I'll tell you that.
I just look up at the sky.
Hey, 2 ways of doing it. Here's Taylor on a little screen pass, and Talon sprints his way to 3rd and 2 territory. He's got 5 catches today. Made it to the end zone once. I think mostly East St. Louis has kept him bottled up.
Yeah, they're an impressive team. I think who knows what that scoreboard would read if they haven't had these 10 or 12 penalties that they've had. But they've, we mentioned this, they've overcome them every time.
Right, you get an unsportsmanlike penalty.
It's never been a deficit for them.
Right.
But it's certainly not something you're going to brag about.
So a 3rd and 3 for Chahino. And he goes to Romero, who rumbles through for the first down and ends some. A hit stick to the 40, now to the 50. Michael Romero with his first big run of the day.
What a nice effort right there by Michael Romero.
That's 26 yards.
His longest run this year was 48 yards, so he's not a breakaway threat, 185 pounds, but he's a good, solid runner with over 1,000 yards this year for Geneva.
I see Melvin Sledge really struggling on the sideline. And another flyer is down over at the 35. Man down in the secondary.
That's Mixon.
And Mekhi Mixon, the senior who next year will play college football at Grambling State. And he's actually getting checked out by a member of the Geneva athletic staff, Delaney Mansoni, because the athletic trainer for East St. Louis, Destiny Grove, is already occupied with Sledge. So that's a solid from Geneva to help out.
Good sportsmanship.
That's what it's all about. Certainly hoping both of those young men are okay. Meanwhile, wonderful to have you with us for the Class 6A state title game. Geneva is vying for their first ever state championship. East St. Louis looking for their 3rd in 5 years. And nice to see Mixon walk off under his own power.
Well, based on last year's team, there's 5 offensive players back for the Flyers. And there's 7 defensive players that played last year. A couple 3-year starters, but that's what they do. They're always young. They always seem to be young enough. I mean, they have some good senior leadership. It's usually about half and half, and then they got those young players that gain great experience, but also learn the ropes through the senior leadership that they have with East St. Louis.
And a 1st and 10 for Geneva. At the 47, Chahino for Taylor. Their 6th connection is good for a first down. Chahino, 16 completions today, 250 yards against one of the best defenses in the country.
He's been a gutsy player, Sam, because he sits in there. He knows he's getting pressure, and you can't have blinders on because it's coming from both sides besides coming up the middle. And he's done different ways of throwing. He throws out of the pocket. He sprints out, makes things happen. He's a good athlete, and he's a very competitive young athlete.
At the 33 now, Chahino hurls it down the sideline and incomplete. Intended for Wepner.
Now, again, he's got the wind with him here, so occasionally that ball's going to sail on him, which it did on that particular one. And again, the receivers can help out the quarterback with how they run those routes, those vertical routes. You can't hug the sideline. You can hug the numbers down the sideline and then drift towards the sideline with a deep throw. But if you're going right down the hash marks on the sideline, that's not helping the quarterback on a deep throw.
The wind at 17 miles an hour, my friend.
I was thinking about 15, but...
You were close. On 2nd and 10, Chahino just throws it away. Remora was sort of in the area. And a 3rd and 10's coming next.
Smart play by Chahino, because that was going to be a sack. He had nowhere to go with that ball. Impressed with the secondary of East St. Louis. That could have been a big play. He's running away, hoping that the secondary is going to rotate and he's going to have a throwback. And they stayed home. Showed good discipline on that secondary rotation.
Charles Bass, Melvin Sledge, Quincy Minor, all seniors on the back end of that defense. Now 3rd and 10. Big play for Chahino. McClendon is chasing him. Chahino to the end zone. And it's batted away by Floyd. Pascoli was right there.
He had him initially. He was open initially by about 4 or 5 yards, but then he had to throw it back into the crossing wind, and that held the ball up a little bit. As you could see, the receiver kind of held up on this as he comes into your screen here. The ball's being held up a wee bit because the receiver had him beat but had to come back for the football. And that's a weather-related defensive gesture by Mother Nature. Kind of helped out East St. Louis.
The weather's sort of the 12th man. So you need this 4th and 10 now. Chahino airs it out. He's got Taylor, but it's swatted away. What a play by Kirby, but there's a flag.
He might have had his arm wrapped around his hip on the back. Came up with the good knockdown. That's a tendency you'll see by defensive backs. Their left hand will go up, but their right hand is wrapped around the hip behind them.
There it is. Pass interference against Kirby. Penalty number 13 on the Flyers. Kirby's not happy. Thinks he made a great play.
I don't know if we keep records of penalties, but we're close. Oh, that's a good call. That's a good call.
Bumped him at the final moment.
Right there. Yep, good call by the officials.
13 penalties, 136 yards on flags. Chahino back to work. Oh, here comes big-time pressure. He just got rid of it. Avoiding a sack from Carnell McIntosh.
He's down.
And Chahino slow to get up, but he's up. Well, McIntosh has been a high flyer. Here's his last hunt.
And that's what we talked about before. He's got to get rid of the ball. That backside, the speed that they have coming from the backside is just amazing. And you can't afford to hold on to the ball for too long.
In the red zone, 2nd and 10. With Wepner in motion. Chahino throws it. Oh, it's picked off. Interception for Floyd. And that is a backbreaker in the red zone.
He jumped on that. He was the undercover man. They had him covered deep, kind of a little double team there. And he just broke on that ball immediately as it was thrown. He was either anticipating that or the coverage was played right into his hands.
And how about this? Getting hoisted by his coach.
Maybe it's his first interception this year. I don't think so, but pretty good deal. And of course, he came pretty close to breaking that all the way.
It's his 5th pick of the year. So been there, done that for Floyd, but his first of the state title game.
You can see he broke on that immediately. Saw it coming right away.
And that was on a possession that was really touchdown or bust for Geneva. Down 20.
And that happened, Sam, because of double coverage. He was the underman on Taylor. There was a corner going over the top, and he was under and just broke on it.
So right back to the fun on offense, and to Ryan Martin with a gainer of 8. Well, East St. Louis has been here at the state finals now 5 years in a row. I think they'd like to have more titles to show for it. They're looking for number 3 in 5. And they are now 1 quarter from accomplishing it. A 20-point lead for the Flyers. Quarter 4 is next.
Is college not what you thought it was going to be? Here's an opportunity to work with your hands as well as your mind. Learn how to insulate mechanical systems in the industrial and commercial industries. With the Heat and Frost Insulators Local 17, you get to earn while you learn through our apprenticeship program. After 5 years, you'll finish with no debt, money in the bank, and you'll be on your way towards a pension. Scan the QR code and apply today, or visit our website to learn more.
Tired of the same old routine? Ready for a career that's always changing? In the roofing trades, every day is a new adventure. Learn a skilled trade, earn competitive wages, enjoy great benefits and solid opportunities for career advancement. With starting wages and benefits above $50 per hour, you can earn while you learn. So, are you ready to climb to new heights? Learn and join the roofing trades today.
Tomorrow, I'll be making a difference in the classroom. Tonight, I'll be making memories with the dance team.
I'm expressing myself with my poetry and with my hands.
I'm providing for my patients and for my community.
At NIU, you'll go places as unique as you, with the resources and support to get you there. Join us and start writing your story today.
On behalf of our 12,000 members, I want to congratulate all the athletes in today's competition. I am Don Finn, the business manager of IBW Local 134, representing the unionized electricians of Chicago and Cook County. Local 134 offers you more than just a job. It offers you a career. Our future is brighter than ever. From building solar fields to constructing data centers to shaping Chicago's skyline. Join the most diverse workforce in the building trades. Building careers, building the future. IBW Local 134.
East St. Louis can feel comfortable with a 20-point lead, and that lead preserved thanks to this route-jumping interception by Raheem Floyd.
Well, when you're being double coverage, as number 1 Taylor is, you can see that he's jumping underneath and there's an over the top. He jumps on that right away, actually before the Taylor ever even finished his route. And this is what happened. They just want to make sure that Taylor does not handle the ball. Good defensive play right there.
And Floyd can sit easy. His offense working now. Martin on the left side has an easy gain of 10 for the first down.
And, you know, you look at that and you think 10 yards, it doesn't look like much for them.
Right, that looked like a layup.
It really did.
Geneva has been solid today. I mean, 28 points against East St. Louis. It's the most the Flyers have given up this season. A great effort. But against these guys, you have to be perfect. And the Vikings, far from perfect. The Lions will take his sweet time here. Clock ticks down to 3 as Martin rumbles for a gain of 2. So we're here at Hancock Stadium. You see the big red bird at midfield. It's the home of Illinois State Redbird football. Part of a deal between the IHSA and Illinois State. We're here till 2027. So Illinois State in the FCS playoffs could have gotten a home game here, but because the state championships are here, they had to go on the road and play at Southeast Missouri State. And how about those Redbirds? Got the road win.
That's what they needed to get for being such good sports.
The higher seed on the road, still victorious. Nice job. Lions kept it and dove forward for 2. So a 3rd and 6. It's fitting that we're here on the 50th anniversary of the first state championship game at the same stadium.
They've come a long way with the stadium. I mean, the other side of that field is amazing what they put up over there, the bleachers and the press box. We're on the older side of the field as opposed to the newer side over there. What a great facility this is now.
It's a beaut. On third down, here goes Lions. Little screen dump off for Sharp. Evades a tackler, and good for a first down. Or rather, might be just a yard short.
You know, Coach talked about their tackling in that first half, that they needed to do a better job. And that's a perfect example. You had him for about a 2 or 3 yard loss. Little screen out here. You can see he comes up right here, makes a tackle, but no, he doesn't. And it leads to a short 4th and 2. And those are the things that happen. It's not a combination sometimes of poor tackling. It's a combination of elusive people with the football.
Flyers
so
are 1 for 2
both
on 4th down. Hand off Woods, and Woods has the first. A tough-nosed run for Laravius Woods.
It's amazing to me, Sam, how that play is designed to go inside and how often they just bounce it outside and outrun everybody.
East St. Louis has been outrunning everyone all year. Here's the latest.
Now that guard and tackle were pulling to turn the ball up inside for a power play, and they kind of shut it down inside, and all he did was bounce it out with his great speed and comes up with what probably is just a cramp.
On first down, Tillman for a few yards, which puts East St. Louis over 500 yards of total offense.
It's quite a stat when you think about what they do as far as running and catching the football. But the thing is, it's not so much they grind it out. They're a big play offense, much like Nazareth was. And they really have good balance as far as throwing and running the football. And they combine with both of those for big plays.
276 on the ground, 225 through the air.
Good balance.
9 yards per play. And here goes Ryan. He's stopped. A brick wall led by Tyler Drake. But all East St. Louis really wants right now is the clock to keep ticking towards championship number 11.
They're one of the great programs in the history of Illinois high school football, along with Joliet Catholic and Nazareth now up and coming, and of course Mount Carmel. All great programs and been consistent. I mean, there's programs that have been good for a couple, 2 or 3 years, but the really great programs are the ones that are consistently 10, 15 years. And that's why we're talking about Mount Carmel and Joliet Catholic and East St. Louis.
And the East St. Louis quarterback with a beautiful run for the first down. Starting to feel inevitable. Then you mentioned the history, some of the great programs in the state of Illinois. And entering today, East St. Louis tied with Providence Catholic for the most championships, third most championships ever, with 10. So win today would break the tie. They would stand alone at 11. Most all time is Joliet Catholic, 15 titles.
Will
Nearly
that be
got
tied?
number 16 today.
Sam, will that be tied if Mount Carmel wins this afternoon?
Yeah. Tied at 15 as Martin is taken down.
You know, years ago, the big game was not so much the state championship. Before they started that in 1974 was the Prep Bowl. And you forget all those championships that Mount Carmel had in the Prep Bowl years ago that was played at Soldiers Field. I mean, that was the big championship game in the state of Illinois. And unfortunately, at that point, it was just the Public League of Chicago against the Catholic League of the Chicago area. It didn't involve anybody from Central or Southern Illinois.
At the 6-minute mark, huge hit and an interception at the line. It was just snared from midair. Joseph Pettit on the pick. How about a big man interception? The hit, Pettit scooped it.
Good job.
And Geneva takes over. Well, the big men can catch the ball when they're on defense. We go to break with 6 to go.
All right, let's go. I'll shop for the kids, and you get something for the dog.
Sounds good. Let's do this.
Whether you're shopping for gifts or something for yourself,
Don't forget toys for the dog.
rush in for Black Friday deals at Menards that everyone will love. Because when they're gone, they're gone.
Save big money at Menards.
Imagine going from the classroom to the big stage.
This territory, this place, our home, isn't just for learning, but for understanding the very power of what imagination actually means.
A place where you can know from player to coach, from the ground to the sky. So close your eyes, envision the roar that is a spirit of thousands of Salukis. Capture this moment and go forward together.
Well, a big man interception for Geneva. Joseph Pettit just snared one, but I don't know. This ball hit the ground, Jack?
Well, yes, no.
Maybe
but
so.
this championship game, Joe Pettit, 5'11", 245 pounds. I'll give him the interception, especially with the score being 48-26 with 5 minutes left. Give him the interception.
Oh, we'll give it to him. Geneva ball with 6 to go. Here's a little strip sack. Ball don't lie, right? Geneva able to jump on the ball, courtesy of their tackle, William Anthony. Phillip White coming around the edge.
They do backside pressure so much, coming off the edge and closing down, taking that angle, and it's always from basically mostly from the blind side, so he can't see him coming.
Chahino to Wepner. A little slant route. And Wepner's over 100 yards with 6 catches on the day. If a guy like that is your second option, you have an offensive powerhouse.
Well, he's probably thrilled that Taylor's been on the team, because Taylor gets double coverage and usually they single up on him.
Chahino on 3rd down. And he can't find Conkey. So it'll be 4th and 13 from the 13. And Geneva's offense seems to have run out of gas. But, hey, East St. Louis had given up 14 points in the playoffs in 4 games combined. And today, Geneva hangs 28 on them. They'll go for it.
Well, Geneva had a great second quarter and gave us the impression that we could have a different second half, but East St. Louis kept the pedal to the metal.
Yeah, not so much. 21 points in the second quarter, and only 7 points since for Geneva. Vikings call timeout. One more break as East St. Louis is closing in on a title.
Coughing and throat feeling sore? We've got medication to get you out the door. Earache, pink eye, bug bite, or rash? Our wonderful staff will treat you in a flash.
What about sprains, strains, and minor fractures too?
Don't worry, our x-rays reveal what's hidden from view. Need care after 9, 10, or 11? Our virtual care's got you 24/7. OSF on-call urgent care, in person or virtual, we're always there.
We're going to need more fuel. A renewable way to get that fuel instead of relying on foreign countries for petroleum. We can just grow our own fuel. Our fields are literally full of energy.
The IHSA Football State Championships are brought to you in part by Country Financial. Worry less and feel more confident with insurance designed to meet your specific needs. Visit countryfinancial.com to experience more today.
And welcome back to Hancock Stadium. Sam Brief, Jack McInerney, and our wonderful crew that's been working in the cold, these brutal conditions in normal, long days, early mornings, long nights, and just want to say thank you to everyone who's been a part of this. Here's the schedule for the rest of the day. So, Mount Carmel, Batavia in the 7A. York and Loyola in the 8A.
You know, Sam, and this is the first time that York has been in this game. And ironically and very sadly, yesterday they lost their the gentleman that really got that program going, a coach named Gary Grawinkel, that was just an outstanding football coach and an even better man. But they lost him yesterday, and he's really the one that got York going, and it's too bad that he didn't get the opportunity, which he probably will be looking down in the game tonight for York High School. Great friend of mine and an outstanding coach. Had to go up against him many times, and he just never let up on me. He always kept beating us, but what a great guy.
His memory will be a blessing. And the last throw, a huge connection, 39 yards on 4th down to Taylor.
And who do you go to when you have to get a big play, but you go to a guy like Taylor? That's what George is going to be doing.
He's off to Athens next year. Here's some trickery. And for Conkey, who was being mauled in the defensive backfield, should be a flag on Minor. The double reverse. There might be a bailout flag here.
Interference on the defense on number 24.
So penalty number 14.
Penalty, first down.
So here's the trickery.
And a good job right there trying to sell it. But you know what? That's not a bad job by East St. Louis. I mean, he interfered with them right at the end, but showed you discipline by staying with them in the secondary. They didn't get suckered in by this, go flying all over the place. They stayed with the receivers down the field. Other cases, he could have been wide open.
The play was defended beautifully. Chahino flushed out. Little lob to the sideline. It's caught but out of bounds. Pascoli made the effort.
Give Geneva credit. They've been very competitive against a stellar, outstanding football team that they had to run up against. In most cases, you're not going to have a team like East St. Louis to play against. And all their opponents that have been playing against them all year long will tell you that, especially Loyola, who, if you think about it, East St. Louis beat them in the first game of the year, and Loyola is going to be playing in the state championship game here this afternoon or evening. And, you know, East St. Louis beat them handily.
That game wasn't close. 34-7 as Romero gets the screen, and he gets to the 14. East St. Louis can make a case for best team in the state. I mean, this performance by Geneva, good enough to beat, what, 99% of Illinois?
And to give them good, obviously a good run for their money. Geneva had a great year. You know, it's everybody wants to win the state championship, but not everybody gets here to have the opportunity to win it. So you got to give that second place team a lot of credit.
A seat at the table means a lot. Now Chahino airs it out, and incomplete for Wepner. Assuming this goes as expected, Geneva will finish the season 12-2 with just the third state title berth in program history. 1975, 2008, and 2024.
You know, these two games that we've just done, it's more emotional for Joliet Catholic with their loss, the way they lost, as it will be for Geneva. I mean, Geneva just ran up against a team that was just so much better. And in Joliet Catholic's game, it came down, to the last play. Just completely different emotional situation.
Heartbreak over there as Taylor stretches. A marvelous grab. That's why he's playing in the SEC next year. And on a pretty quiet day for Taylor, he still has 8 catches. Well over 100 yards and a touchdown.
And they set up special secondary coverages just to kind of take him out of the ball game, and yet he still comes up with 8 catches.
And a 3rd and 5 now. Chahino feeling heat and delivers a strike that's picked off. Another interception, this time Quincy Minor. And the Flyers can start to celebrate.
Nice pick right there. Short field makes it tougher for the wide receivers to break loose. And, of course, it's big help to the secondary because you use the end zone as a 12th defender. They can't go deep on you. They're not going to beat you deep, but they can beat you on crossing routes.
I think I'm learning. You get a pick, you get lifted. Let's take it.
You can see him looking around under pressure, which he's been under all day long. And just a good pick right there with good coverage.
The Flyers can start to sniff it. State title number 11 in a few minutes. But first, here's a run for Woods, who has been so phenomenal today. And he fights to the 30. Now the run game for East St. Louis. Bennett, Woods, Martin, all over 65 yards.
I'm impressed with their stable of running backs, but the other guy that I'm really impressed with is Kendrick Lyons. He's been a very, very impressive quarterback. Very poised, doesn't panic, looks down the field, nothing's there. He doesn't force too many throws, scrambles, great quickness with his feet, keeping plays alive. Very impressive quarterback.
With all the winning East St. Louis has done over the years, he sat behind Pop's battle, watched him lead. Now he is leading. And Woods again with a huge burst. .22 for Woods, who's playing his final high school game. The senior off to Lindenwood next year. And capping off high school with a great effort. 9 carries, 109 yards, 3 touchdowns for the man they call Fresh. Now it's just a time game. 3 on the play clock. And the snap. Here's Fresh. Get him over 110.
There'll be a point right here pretty soon where they'll start getting some of the seniors in the game. Especially when you're in a game like this. You want to give those seniors an opportunity to have a chance to get on the field for the state championship. Geneva starting to sub right now.
The first East St. Louis championship was 1979 with a squeaker of a victory over St. Lawrence. And 35 years later, they have built a dynasty spanning generations, about to win their 11th state championship. And Coach Darren Sunkett, well, he's guided this program to 4, about to be 5.
You know, when he takes his headset off, that's...
Yeah, there you go.
But it's in the bag, more or less. Done a great job with a great program. The only thing that he needs to clear up, and I'm sure he'll address it, as he does every year, are the penalties. But does a great job with coaching, has a great staff. And they overcame last year's upset, I guess, with Cary Grove. Came back and won it handsomely here.
Yeah, heartbreak last year against Cary Grove. But they'll go back to East St. Louis with a trophy this year for the 11th time in program history. East St. Louis, champions of Illinois. All smiles from Coach Sunkett, and for good reason. 48 points, 500 yards, and a state title here at Hancock Stadium. We'll step aside, and the trophy ceremony, post-game interviews, and much more when we come back. The Flyers are champs.
The IHSA Football State Championships are brought to you in part by Menards. Save big money on all your home improvement needs. And by SIU Carbondale. Imagine the possibilities.
Attention high school students. If you're tired of hearing the same old college debt story, we've got an exciting alternative for you. Join the Mid-America Carpenters Union and let your career dreams take flight. You can earn great pay, enjoy no-cost health insurance, and secure a stable retirement, all with no college debt and an elite career that's here to stay. It's time to build your future your way. Ready to carve your path to success? Contact the Mid-America Carpenters Union today to learn how you can unleash your potential.
Imagine going from the classroom to the big stage.
This territory, this place, our home, isn't just for learning, but for understanding the very power of what imagination actually means.
A place where you can go from player to coach, from the ground to the sky. So close your eyes, envision the roar that is a spirit of thousands of Salukis. Capture this moment and go forward together.
All right, let's go. I'll shop for the kids, and you get something for the dog.
Sounds good. Let's do this.
Whether you're shopping for gifts or something for yourself.
Don't forget toys for the dog.
Rush in for Black Friday deals at Menards that everyone will love. Because when they're gone, they're gone.
Save big money at Menards.
You know what it's like to watch a winning team. Now it's your turn to be a part of one. The Illinois State Police is recruiting for our next cadet classes, and you could be our MVP. Protect the public, help those in need, and make a lasting impact in your community. Our mission, your future, higher purpose, higher pay. Starting pay is at $90,000 with incredible benefits package, including a take-home squad car, tuition reimbursement, paid leave, and more. Join the team that makes a difference. Apply today at IllinoisTrooper.com.
3 state titles for East St. Louis in 5 years, thanks to today's 20-point victory over Geneva. And time for the Menards play of the game. Save big money on all your home improvement needs. And it was Chris Bennett, 87 yards to the house on a game-changing kickoff. Turning momentum and turning into a state title. Let's go down to Nicole, who's standing by with the victorious head coach.
Coach Sunkett, your team embraced expectations all season long. 48 points in this championship game. Why were they ready to excel in this one?
Just preparation, from January to now, just preparation. We got a great group of kids. We told them before the game, this here is where the season started, August 29th. We started here with a win, and we want to end it with a win. And, man, we came out, our offense came out phenomenal. They were hitting on all cylinders. Our defense made some crucial stops early, and then in the second half, they made stops when they had to.
3 titles in 5 years under your leadership. How are you able to summarize what you and your team has been able to accomplish?
It's just hard work and dedication. We're fortunate. We have the opportunity to coach a great group of kids, a great group of kids who have high expectations of themselves, and the coaches have high expectations of them. And they come in each day, they put the work in. school, from the classwork to the football field. You know, it's just a great group of individuals.
Does it ever get old, Coach?
Never gets old.
And speaking about one of those great kids, let's bring in Ronnie Goldmiller here.
Fantastic sophomore.
You're a fantastic sophomore. 2 touchdowns for you today, 128 yards receiving. What was it like putting on a show in the state championship game?
You know, I didn't get to play last year, so I just wanted to come out and showcase my best abilities on what Coach Sunk been telling me, all the coaches, you know. I just feel like he's the best people around me, you know. They work me hard, get me to the point where I'm at today. And this was giving me a ring, you know.
Getting you a ring, and you guys are a young team, but talk to me about your seniors, particularly Fresh. Lavarius Woods, 3 touchdowns for him today. What does it mean to you to send off your seniors as state champions?
It feels good. You know, we couldn't get it done last year, so it's only best to get it done this year. Hey, I've been knowing Fresh for a long time. That's my boy. So I'm proud of him for real.
Well, go find Fresh and enjoy your championship win, guys. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, Sam, take it away.
Well, with that marvelous performance today, Go Miller, our player of the game. It's brought to you by Country Financial. Visit countryfinancial.com to experience more. His speed was so impressive, Jack.
Well, team speed, but yet individual speed like he has. Always can make the big play. Very explosive. Great football team.
And that team with state title number 11 ready to crown the champs. Here is the trophy ceremony.
Of runner-up Geneva. A special medallion will be presented to the administrators, and individual awards will be presented to Coach Thorgeson and his team captains. And now the second place trophy will be presented to the Vikings of Geneva, who finished the season with a final record of 12 wins and 2 losses. And now East St. Louis fans, welcome Superintendent Arthur Culver, Principal Brittany Green, Athletic Director and Coach Darren Sunkett, and the captains of champion East St. Louis. A special medallion is being presented to the administrators, and individual awards presented to Coach Sunkett and his team captains. Now this year's state championship Class 6A team trophy is presented to the Flyers of East St. Louis, who finished the season with a final record of 13 wins and 1 loss.
So for the 11th time in their program's history, East St. Louis champions of Illinois. Hey, they gave up 28 points today. Uncharacteristic, but you put up almost 50, that's enough.
Well, you got to give Geneva a lot of credit. I mean, they were a very competitive team, and what they did is they played against a great high school football team. Geneva had competitiveness. I give them a lot of credit, but you can't match up with East St. Louis, especially this year. They were just outstanding, and that's why they're raising that trophy up right now.
From day one to the final day of November, the best team has been the East St. Louis, and today, a championship. Next up, we got 2 really good ones. The 7 and 8A state finals will undoubtedly deliver. Our friends Dave Bernard and Chris Highland will be on the call. A wonderful start to the weekend with a wonderful crew. And East St. Louis, champs of Illinois. Our coverage continues after this.
Ashley's Black Friday deals continue this weekend. Today through Monday, shop incredible doorbusters starting at just $1.99. Plus, take 25% off your entire purchase. The best Black Friday furniture deals are only at Ashley.
On behalf of our 12,000 members, I want to congratulate all the athletes in today's competition. I am Don Finn, the business manager of IBW Local 134, representing the unionized electricians of Chicago and Cook County. Local 134 offers you more than just a job. It offers you a career. Our future is brighter than ever. From building solar fields to constructing data centers to shaping Chicago's skyline. Join the most diverse workforce in the building trades. Building careers, building the future. IBW Local 134.
Tired of the same old routine? Ready for a career that's always changing? In the roofing trades, every day is a new adventure. Learn a skilled trade, earn competitive wages, enjoy great benefits and solid opportunities for career advancement. With starting wages and benefits above $50 per hour, you can earn while you learn. So, are you ready to climb to new heights? Learn and join the roofing trades today.
Dad, it's your turn.
Okay.
Oh, I got this.
Family Law Firm. You help fight for car accident victims. It's free to hire you. You can do it right on your phone. And you can get your clients 3 times more money. This law firm's called... Starts with an M?
Seriously?
Ashley's Black Friday deals continue this weekend. Now through Monday, shop incredible doorbusters starting at just $1.99. Plus, get the best prices on Ashley products guaranteed. The best Black Friday furniture deals are only at Ashley.
2 state champions down, 2 state champions yet to be crowned on this Saturday. Hello and welcome into our IHSA Television Network studios alongside Edgy Tim O'Halloran. I'm Marshall Harris. You just saw it, a big dominant performance by East St. Louis. It's not anything that we are unfamiliar with. They get their championship stride back after failing to come up just short last year.
Is that the best team in the state of Illinois? Is it the best team in the Midwest? Is it the best, one of the top teams in the nation?
I think yes, 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 and yes.
They made a really nice case for themselves. Could they have played better? Yes. Could they have cleaned a few things up? Yes. They go out and they prove it year in and year out. They challenge everyone they can play. They say no to no one. They play the Loyolas and the IMGs of the world. They go out and prove it, and it's really hard to argue against them right about now. But we've got 2 other games that are going to try to show us.
Again,
we'll see.
Geneva has nothing to be ashamed of, putting up 28 points against East St. Louis. But we got to get on to 7A now. A big battle between Mount Carmel and Batavia. We'll tell you all about that as we continue to get you ready for kickoff in 7A, the championship being celebrated in 6A.
Want a great career? Join the Carpenters Union and be part of the next generation building our communities. With the Carpenters Union Career Connections program, high school students get a head start on the industry's leading curriculum. Learn the latest in construction technology and the many skilled crafts the Carpenters Union represents. Plus, earn as you learn. Receive a nice paycheck, health insurance benefits, and best of all, no college debt. Ask your school district to participate in the Career Connections program and get started on your future.
Imagine going from the classroom to the big stage.
This territory, this place, our home, isn't just for learning, but for understanding the very power of what imagination actually means.
A place where you can go from player to coach, from the ground to the sky. So close your eyes, envision the roar that is a spirit of thousands of Salukis. Capture this moment and go forward together.
All right, let's go. I'll shop for the kids and you get something for the dog.
Sounds good. Let's do this.
Whether you're shopping for gifts or something for yourself.
Don't forget toys for the dog.
Rush in for Black Friday deals at Menards that everyone will love. Because when they're gone, they're gone.
Save big money at Menards.
You know what it's like to watch a winning team. Now it's your turn to be a part of one. The Illinois State Police is recruiting for our next cadet classes, and you could be our MVP. Protect the public, help those in need, and make a lasting impact in your community. Our mission, your future, higher purpose, higher pay. Starting pay is at $90,000 with incredible benefits package, including a take-home squad car, tuition reimbursement, paid leave, and more. Join the team that makes a difference. Apply today at IllinoisTrooper.com.
Welcome back. 2024 is the 50th anniversary of the IHSA Football Playoff State Series. Gearing up for the season, the IHSA compiled a committee of coaches, administrators, and media members to select the top 50 football programs. And it's official. The top program in the state is Mount Carmel. Here's a look at their storied history.
State championships, excellence, dedication, hard work, toughness. Those are the words that really come to mind when I think of Mount Carmel football.
Faith, family, and excellence.
Socioeconomic status, creed, color, culture, religion, it's all accepted here. And I think we just have a shared mindset here of, being the best.
Our whole philosophy revolved around be the best person you can be first, be the best student you can be second, be the best athlete you can be third.
I think that the young men here, they not only just want to be accepted, but they want to be a part of this tradition. So these young men, not only on the football field, but in the classroom as well, they want to be as successful as the men before them.
Our goal is to have them reach the same common goal, which is teamwork, hard work, and a state championship.
Mount Carmel Caravan cap a 14-0 season with the 14th football championship in school history.
Back-to-back for the Mount Carmel Caravan. Championship number 15, tied for the most in Illinois high school football history.
We're with the head coach of Mount Carmel, Bill Bars, and Bill, things going pretty well.
Well, so far, so good, but it's only 6-0. We have to play 24 more minutes of football.
When I first came here, I interviewed the players and found out what the culture was like.
At any sporting event you go to, you meet the Mount Carmel alumni, and that's what builds the culture.
We were not going to ever be in a star-making business, but more importantly, the brotherhood was we over me.
It's not just one person standing on top of a big mountain. Everybody's arm in arm, shoulder to shoulder, trying to bring people up.
And we have the saying at Mount Carmel, you come to Mount Carmel as a boy, if you care to work and struggle at it, you'll leave as a man.
Expectations are high for Mount Carmel, and they have met them this year, your 2019 7A champions, 13th time.
We were very good in 77, my first year. We were 6-3, losing 3 games by 1 point. And the freshmen were undefeated that year, and those were the people who were seniors in 1980 and won the first state championship.
Look up to Carter. Dances his way, touchdown. Oh, he's a piece of work.
They were saying it was a miracle on 64th Street that we won. But the players and the coaches, we didn't look at it that way. We thought from that first day of football in August, we're going to win a state championship.
2-1, he's out of bounds, but it's all over. The caravan of Mount Carmel, you see the storm across the field as Mount Carmel is the Class 5A state champions in the state of Illinois. 15-10, the final score.
1987, we lost in the semifinal to East St. Louis, down in East St. Louis. And then in 88, when those kids came back, they hit the weight room with a vengeance.
In the summer in August, in the summer in July, the mini camps, that all the sweat, all the hard work, all the long days, all the cramps, bruises, bumps, broken fingers, or what have you, you are at this point. And there's a lot of pride in that. On our road to the state championship, we beat 11-0, 12-0, 13-0 teams to go 14-0 ourselves.
But the thrill of that was we got to play East St. Louis again in the state championship. And at that time, they and Joliet Catholic were really the dominant programs in the state of Illinois.
They've done it. Mount Carmel, the state champions.
The state champions of 88 and 89, we kind of opened the door for that tradition. The decade of dominance in the 90s and 2000s was really started in the late 80s. So make sure you guys get that on camera.
Now look out, they're going after Frank. Tell you, he may be getting up in years, but I tell you, those legs haven't quit.
We wanted to consistently get better every season, and therefore we were not going to be satisfied just to win one state championship.
At the 5, touchdown! And it's a championship from Mount Carmel. It is 4 in a row.
Those wins are etched into you. I mean, they're etched into the history of Mount Carmel. In 1998, state championship was huge for us. I mean, that was my senior year. That was the overall goal, to at least lead with one state championship. In the spirit of being the best no matter what, we did what we needed to do every single day in order to get there, which is why I played in 2 state championships. We worked very hard. We pushed each other. And that's why Mount Carmel was always in the conversation for state championships.
Frank Linty, in his 30 years, he has come here 16 times, 10 titles, 6 second place. He's going to get his 11th championship here in just a little bit.
You know, I wanted to be the best. I wanted to be pushed, and I wanted to be coached hard. I mean, that's something that I saw that was at Mount Carmel, that was in their culture of discipline and hard work and kind of doing it the hard way.
Lynch will keep, stays on his feet, and still going, still in, delivers a blow, touchdown, Mount Carmel.
We're not just one of these programs that had success for 5 to 10 years. This has gone on since, you know, the 70s or the 80s.
We've been playing football for over 100 years here, and I think that our community is extremely prideful in the success that we've had and how hard that the young men have worked to gain that success.
I think everyone that has strapped on a Mount Carmel helmet, everyone that's been to a Mount Carmel football game, probably already knew that we're the top team in the last 50 years.
And there are so many facets to Mount Carmel being successful that goes into just 4 quarters of football when we win games. I think it speaks hopefully to a lot of people that are behind the scenes, right? The parents especially.
Well, for me, you know, it was an honor that parents trusted us with their sons.
To see where I am now, it just puts a lot of things in perspective for me. I love my life now. I love the person that I am now. And Mount Carmel helped that.
If you look at the overall picture in the next 50 years, you know, can we win another 15 state championship? That's kind of overwhelming to look that far. It's day by day. It's bringing in the right coaches, the right mentors. And it's not about getting the best kids. You know, we don't want the best kids. We want the right kids for the program.
There it is in numbers, the legacy of Mount Carmel. What jumps out to you, Edgy?
All of it, really. The longevity, as Coach Lynch mentioned, and just the consistency. It is so difficult. You see programs come and go. This program has remained at that highest elite level, again, going back to the 70s.
All right, they'll try to add to that tonight. They take on Batavia in the 7A state title game up next right here on the IHSA television network.
We're going to need more fuel, a renewable way to get that fuel instead of relying on foreign countries for petroleum. We can just grow our own fuel. Our fields are literally full of energy.
Coughing and throat feeling sore? We've got medication to get you out the door. Earache, pink eye, bug bite, or rash? Our wonderful staff will treat you in a flash.
What about sprains, strains, and minor fractures too?
Don't worry, our x-rays reveal what's hidden from view. Need care after 9, 10, or 11? Our virtual care's got you 24/7. OSF on-call urgent care, in person or virtual, we're always there.
Home is more than a place. It's full of the people and moments that matter most. Providing for loved ones, expanding your horizons, or simply living the life you love. With all you have to protect, choose insurance you can count on so you can experience more of what you live for. Country Financial. Experience more.
Every year, the Whiffles family celebrates the season the best way they know how. And every year, they add a little something new. After all this time, you'd think all that extra work put into every last detail would get old. Well, think again. Whiffles Hybrids. Season's greetings from our U.S. farm family to yours.
We're going to need more fuel. A renewable way to get that fuel instead of relying on foreign countries for petroleum, we can just grow our own fuel. Our fields are literally full of energy.
There's a look at Hancock Stadium on the campus of Illinois State University. Mount Carmel against Batavia for the Class 7A championship. That's up next. It's the Caravan taking on the Bulldogs.
Is college not what you thought it was going to be? Here's an opportunity to work with your hands as well as your mind. Learn how to insulate mechanical systems in the industrial and commercial industries. With the Heat and Frost Insulators Local 17, you get to earn while you learn through our apprenticeship program. After 5 years, you'll finish with no debt, money in the bank, and you'll be on your way towards a pension. Scan the QR code and apply today, or visit our website to learn more.
Tomorrow, I'll be making a difference in the classroom. Tonight, I'll be making memories with the dance team.
I'm expressing myself with my poetry and with my hands.
I'm providing for my patients